Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in positive territory after Thursday's steep sell-off that was once again led by the NASDAQ and tech stocks right across the board. The NASDAQ as a whole was down about 3%. When all was said and done yesterday, we saw Apple and Amazon shares among those hit hardest heading into the close yesterday. The Dow, the S&P, meanwhile, about 0.5%, 1.5% respectively to the downside as well. Everything back to the upside this morning. 10-year back to about 1.6, 1.62 trading in the pre-market here. We got as high as 1.71 yesterday, late in the day. So multi-month highs for the 10-year, to say the least. Individually this morning, we're watching shares of FedEx. They reported aftermarket yesterday, better than expected, to be expected, I guess, for FedEx. Nike stock, meanwhile, to the downside. They missed on earnings. We'll talk about that. Some of the LiDAR makers moving around in the pre-market here. We'll look at Microvision, also that Luminar laser moving around, actively traded this morning as well. It's Friday, March 19th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at North American markets, as I mentioned, back in positive territory, led by, the NASDAQ there. You can see 0.7% to the upside. Everything else top to bottom there looking nicely positive. Bitcoin, back to 60,000, 2.8% so far. Crude oil slightly lower, and gold about 0.5% to the upside to start Friday morning, guys. It's Friday. It's quad witching. We'll talk about some index changes coming up at the end of the session today. Bitcoin, 60,000 again. We have a great poll out on the main Twitter account this morning. Make sure you go check that out. Vote. Will we get above 60,000? I think the better question is when, and do we hold above 60,000 this time?
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, that could be true because before we get to the open, we could actually see that price. You're seeing a bit of a rebound, like as Brendan mentioned there, in the markets after yesterday's sell-off. It's all about ending the week off right here. Was actually, when you mentioned Nike, I was just looking at Peloton because we were talking a little bit about their apparel deal, and of course, an unfortunate safety concern when they had an accident. A young child lost their life there. So Peloton, it could also be on watch as well. But it's really going to be mostly about, I don't know, you call it the reflation trade, whatever you want, or reacting to, I guess, a slight pullback in the 10-year. So you are seeing a little bit of a tiny bounce. It's not that much in the overall market, but we're actually getting a little bit back to the upside. It's probably worth looking at the NQ just a little bit more here because it's all about that NASDAQ. It's all about that tech space, and there was some sharp sell-off to be had. Facebook is going to be in play. I do think is a Zuckerberg saying that the changes to Apple security might be good for them. I found that interesting. I thought it's a slight negative for them on the advertising side of things, but you never know. If they're bullish about it, Facebook was holding up the last time I looked at it. Lots of names to be on watch today, and some from yesterday, Sean. Some from yesterday.
Yeah, no matter what stock. Hey, good morning, guys. It's Friday. Welcome. Going to be a big show. Should be a big day. Should be a big rebound day here. So let's just wait to see what happens coming through with the NASDAQ, with the ES, with oil down today again, another 0.5%. Man, oil's turning over like crazy as well. So I think it's about time we start looking at some XOM and different names like that. Not Chesapeake, they're gone. Chevron, things like that. And then today, you might get some movement in Rocket. Remember, like Neil just said, it's quad witching. So it's a bunch of option expiration, single stocks, futures, and whatnot. So you're going to get those plays. And it's already, on some of these Toronto level twos, you're seeing tens of millions of shares getting thrown around, getting ready for open. So we do expect a lot of fireworks off the open. So probably not into anything in the first 5 seconds, but we'll get into a lot after that. I talked about Facebook breaking out yesterday. It looks like it's not. It's not really doing anything. Everything crashed down, but I do like Facebook. The list today is plentiful, so we'll hit that up, and should be a good one today, Brendan. I think there's lots of names, but we'll wait to see what the market gives us.
Yeah, nothing terribly exciting as far as news is concerned on individual names, but definitely going to be an active trading session to look at a number of different symbols this morning. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves here, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Valeria.
Good morning, Brandon, and hi guys. Happy Friday, everyone. Have a great trading day. Enjoy the show. But at first, make sure to hit thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's indeed get us started, guys. We have, as I mentioned, lots to get through in the pre-market here. We'll talk about some reopening ideas because we've seen AMC have quite the week, moving back to the upside, back on the list this morning. As far as stocks that could be in play, once again, it held up way better than most throughout the session yesterday, specifically in the afternoon. We saw some of the big name tech stocks closing either at day lows or near day lows, where some of these reopening plays, including the AMCs. I mean, you can look at the cruise lines as well. They were a little bit stronger than the rest as far as groups go. But let's focus on retail names a little bit here to start things off this morning, guys. We had Macy's earlier in the week was very strong. There were some other individual retail associated names that were showing strength. As far as the reopening play is concerned, what are your thoughts this morning?
Actually, interesting you say Macy's. I was watching that in the afternoon, and I want to come to Nordstrom's if I can for a second, just because it's been an interesting little pullback for them. And you have a lot of these pushes to the upside. So you're going to see on the daily chart a full recovery already put in, and then you come through with earnings, and then you get this sort of sharp, like multi-day pullback off of that high. Interestingly enough, we talk about this from time to time. Always have a look at previous resistance levels for potential support for places to buy a bit of a dip, and I sort of look at Nordstrom's, right through that previous, 4140-ish area, so call it like 41 even, and then right into where we are right now, like a 4250. It's a good leveling off point. And basically it's flat. This is exactly where we closed on yesterday's action. So a few days in a row to the downside. Important key hold for something like Nordstrom's here. The high-end retail. Definitely interesting and good little space for the recovery play. And yes, there might be names that we think are sexier to buy on dips, but you're already getting a little bit of a chance to buy this one on weakness. And it's a contrast to, I'll say, Nike, which, if I pull up we can go to it. I know we're going to talk about Nike a little bit in general, but it's a bit in contrast to something like Nike, just to show you a chart where you're seeing like the level off and then the rejection at a very key, like 147, 148 area, and then sort of pulling back on those earnings as opposed to, pulling back post breakout for a bit of a stronger looking trend on Nordstrom. So both stocks have been trending in the right way. It's just a bit of a varied look there when I take a look at Nordstrom's.
Yeah, I'm just getting my sticky note out because everybody always asks me for the sticky note, and today I just showed it. It was a big one. Look, I think XOM could be in play as well. Today, XOM's been having a huge run. Obviously, under traded on the show and under loved on the street. It seemed like in the oil patch, but yeah, oil. What a huge move. I mean, you guys know that if you're a driver or you've been needing gas for any sort of reason there, $62 up for XOM. It has fallen back down. Crude has also here. I'll show you guys crude. Crude has also been tanking a little bit. Tanking. It's just giving some back here. Big run up. Yeah, remember when oil went negative? What is that, negative $40? Yeah, and then anyways, since then, as we zoom in a little bit more here, hopefully, and can show you, we do have it top 60, 67, 68, and then a big move down, covering all the way back. We're all the way back to, February lows right now and trying to make a move back down below the 50 period. So with oil making moves anyways, I do look for XOM to break through. Maybe downside here, $56, something like that. We could even retrace back to its 50 period moving average, back down to 52. So I'm pretty bearish on some of these oil names.
Yeah, we were talking about the energy sector as a whole. 7% I saw this morning on the week. More importantly, we are almost, guys, at 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. The producer has this sitting on the desk here with me, just as a tease. So help us out. If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you take a second and hit subscribe so we can get to 200,000 subscribers and we can enjoy that. But only, you can see, it's kind of blurry there, Robbie, but you can see there's a label on the actual bottle that shows, there it is, 200,000 is when we get to enjoy that. So help us out, guys. If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you take a second and hit subscribe. Let's talk tech. Why don't we? As far as leading to the downside yesterday, we mentioned the NASDAQ overall 3% at the end of the day when all was said and done. We saw the 10-year at one point. I saw the offer on the 10-year got to 1.82. Which is, multi-month highs once again for the 10-year. We're coming back again this morning, 1.62 the last I checked. So some of these tech names worth a watch this morning. I mean, very weak yesterday, but we should get a bounce here.
Yeah, we are getting a bounce. If you just look, you could take any name. Let's take one of the most beat down tech names yesterday in the afternoon. Just look at Square. It doesn't matter the daily chart of all tech names. Big tech are going to look something like this, where it's just kind of back and forth. But look at this sell-off yesterday. Come on, charts. This sell-off yesterday in the afternoon, guys. So about that, Square 237, and then just like a ski slope, just all the way down. You get a little bit of a ramp there and a ramp there, but you still come all the way back down to 222. This gave up $15, guys, all the way down. Basically from noon, which is right here, all the way down to 4 o'clock, 222 and change. And now today you're bouncing right back up to 230. So yeah, I think Square has a great opportunity to bounce back today. We love that name. You see Bitcoin bouncing today as well. I think that always leads to more and more Square love, more PayPal love. You talked about Apple being beat down. Apple wasn't actually... it goes down because the market was down, but it doesn't look anything like some of those other stocks. But for Apple, this is a decent move as well. 122 at the high, 122.50, closes 120. So you get about a 1% move down there, as we get ready to close the day. And then today you're up to 121 again. So although it seemed like there was a lot of blood in the streets yesterday with the NASDAQ down 3%, I think you can find some good value there. I posted the Post-it note. I'm going to put the link also in our chat soon. So I did already. So get ready, guys, for some big fireworks today. I just feel like you got to let it settle down off the open. Quickly, let me just show you something here. CNR in Toronto, just only because you can see the imbalances. Look at the size here that there is. There's huge size everywhere. 3 million by 3 million on the level 2. Watch TD Bank here. 10 million by 10 million going to come off the open as well. Tons of Canadian stocks. I can give you another one. Any bank, it doesn't really matter. Royal Bank, same thing, 8 million. Look at the size that's here. It's the same price. So these are crossings, right? They're going to happen right at the open, and we expect very, very similar action. It just doesn't show up on the level 2 the same way that it does in New York as it does in Toronto or on NASDAQ. So you have Ford with a big buy, and then a few others. Big names on here that we're looking at. Palantir is always there, but that's the rebalance effect that's going to take effect right off the open.
Yeah, and if you guys take a look at some of the tech names, the interesting thing you'll see on the charts here, Apple morning low, Premarket, and then also, of course, the breakdown after 2 o'clock is going to be at this 121.60, and you'll see that as a pre-market high today. I can go to AMD and basically show you a very, very similar pattern. So you get this 79.60 morning bottom. We try to hold that, of course, eventually breaks down through right at 225, same time as Apple, and then holding these levels for some pre-market highs. So you have this immediate resistance point, a previous support from yesterday turning into a resistance point on AMD, Apple. Seen that on a few other charts, and one of the things to keep in mind too, as Sean shows you guys the open interest in Toronto, it'll be a very similar story in the New York and the NASDAQ, which on these witching days, it can be prudent to allow things to settle down and maybe not take as many 930 style trades in heavily indexed names, because you can have some really whippy volatility in there. It does mean if you have some really good levels, it can be worthwhile waiting for them, because you'll see just a heck of a lot of volume at the very least. It's not a guarantee of volatility in the first minute, but certainly a heck of a lot of volume.
All right, the show's going to have a little bit of a auto sector theme today. Stick around after 11 o'clock this morning, 11:15-ish, maybe earlier. At Trader TV, Randy is going to make his triumphant return to the show and talk some autos with us. We'll focus on the EV group as we typically do. But just wanted to mention Ford here, guys, with another positive note, this time from Barclays this morning with an upgrade on Ford. Standing out as definitely among the leaders here in the pre-market, 3.6% already.
Down
Lucky number.
$13 on the sticky note here. We crushed One of the biggest trades all week was the Ford trade that we had. I think it was a couple days ago, breaking through 12. Was it 1250, something like that? No, it wasn't. Must have been a few days ago because it wasn't yesterday. That's for sure. It's Ford. Oh no, maybe it was yesterday actually. Here on Ford breaking. Yeah, I think it was Ford breaking through 1275. Yeah, it was. It was yesterday afternoon. So yesterday afternoon or yesterday in the morning we had Ford. This break. This was yesterday. So. Funny how fast the day goes here. Yeah, yesterday we broke this out, and then this is where we got out the last piece of it, man. 12.99. We never broke. I mean, we got to 13.5, like 13.00 half there. It looks like on a break, but I don't think we broke 13 at all. And then today we'll see about breaking 13, but the same thing remains. There's big size here at 13. You do get that big bid here at 13. It's on my sticky note. I'll put the link again on the chat. And thank you guys. I mean, it's already gotten a lot of love there on Twitter. But $13 there on the break. I like it. It's just that we got to let it settle down a little bit. I'll take it in the pre-market if it does go just small. But I love Ford on the break here. I've been talking about Ford, talking about Trader TV Randy and the autos. I know he was in this name, got out of it. I'm still in this name from $6, $7. I mean, this thing broke out right here. This is the area of break that I was concerned with back in October. And since then, it retested here, the 50-day moving average, which would have been a great opportunity to get in as well. But since then, man, Ford just taken off. I think it's the safest way to play the EV space. There's no more hype around anything other than the Mustang and the F-150. But look, if they can figure out the semiconductor shortage and whatnot into Ford, I think that, or into the US, I think that'll just help all of these businesses. And GM also, man, long $52. Thank you so much, Manny D. The producer went cheap. So here we go. So we already have the VUV. It's right here. We already drank that. We just thought we'd do something different. So believe me, guys, it's not about going cheaper at all. We just want to have a different flow to the champagne drinking. Either way, that bottle gets done pretty quickly around here, Neil.
Yeah, and I'd love to say it was because of us, Sean, but shout out to our fantastic production crew. Hey, they work really, really hard, so I don't mind too much that they downed like 80% of the last bottle, and I'm not exaggerating about that number. I have the higher time frame because I wrote down 13, and it's an obvious level. The difference between Ford and some of these other stocks is liquidity and volume, so it's a safer play if you're going to trade something like this. In the pre-market, you'll see like things like AMC, which have good liquidity as well, that will trade pre-market. Like a day like today, like I'm not touching like your Lemonades, your Affirms, or your recent IPOs. Those you might stay away from. If this 13 does break, and if you have your stop orders configured correctly, you can allow for like an 01 on the bid and an 01 print, and then you wouldn't get triggered yesterday. So something along those lines is my plan. And then 1330 is sort of an obvious, pre-market highs yesterday. A couple of sessions before, you had some resistance or some support at that level at 1330. So definitely got to scalp some out in front of 1330 on any 13 even break, because we've seen that break sort of push up on initial move and then quick consolidation. Look at what happened in yesterday's action. Where does it turn around? It finds previous support levels and chop for the first. It'll turn around. So I'd like to make that quick profit taking on any Ford long through 13.
And here it is on the upgrades. Yeah, Ford is here. Barclays, guys, to the upside. Price target 16. I mean, all week long, Starbucks has been on this board. Now it's Wedbush, 124. Petco back on the board here after positive earnings earlier in the week. Evercore, nothing terribly. I mean, this Molson Coors was down yesterday. I noted down again this morning on a price target cut. JP Morgan doesn't like Molson Coors. Blackstone, Gallagher, and yeah, Sundial getting a downgrade as well, guys.
Gallagher. Let's break some watermelon around here. Sundial, look, we talked about this one with the earnings yesterday. Managed to catch a good short on it. Come on, daily chart, be nice to me here. Managed to catch a bit of a good short on this name off of like that 168. It was random, but it was a pre-market high. It's already made that parabolic move, and then it's just been rather sleepy. But it's shown some signs of being able to bounce. I think it has to go a little bit deeper than this, like a 125, 135 would be those areas of confidence. I wanted to see if 150 could have held. It did hold one time right about the end of the show here, and then couldn't hold in the afternoon. That kind of puts it back into the resistance point at 151, 152. So if we kind of hold out here, don't do much of anything, and can't push through off the open, I'd be looking for a sundial short. There's just a few other names, and SNES, which I've already traded and we'll get to in a bit, is a good-looking small cap name that I think I'll be trading. And then, of course, Ford through 13 is probably something I'd be more interested in right off of the open. I'd like to see sundial settle in. The trade I made yesterday was allowing it to make a bit of a push and take the second short instead of the first, right? Instead of the first right at the open. So I'm willing to do that again here with sundial. Just be patient. It's not nearly as volatile as it used to be.
Yeah, I don't have, I was just looking at Starbucks. I was looking to get some shorts. I'm looking at AMC today. I just posted the sticky note again to the chat. So you have an idea here. This is what we're talking about. The post-it note. It doesn't have to be zoomed in too much because you guys can now get it on the Twitter feed there. I tagged at tradertv.live as well there. So you'll be able to find some of the plays that we like. Look, I'm super excited about Ford still, waiting for that. And then, well, you know what, Brendan? We can just go over our watch list because, honestly, there's so many names on there and so many different things to discuss. With only, 30 minutes, I guess, really, it'll be 9:20, and then we'll get ready to go. We're going to keep you guys updated on the imbalance locator. Remember the NASDAQ, and here, I'll just show it to you right now. The NASDAQ imbalance locator will come out at 9:28. So for today, it's important, I think, because we're just going to see what happens here heading into the morning with the quad witching. So Ford is a great opportunity for me, and then I do like Palantir on a rebound through 2450. But we'll get to all these names. Just stay with us, guys.
I told you that the show's going to have a little bit of an automotive flair, guys. Sean, you'll be happy about this one. FSR, big pop here. Yeah, some people in the chat talking about this one up 11% already. There's a couple of things, looks like just popping up here. Foxconn in talks with a couple of different companies in regards to the creation of an electric vehicle. There's also some corporate updates that they were just releasing as well. So big pop here for FSR, guys, as well, back on watch.
That'll work.
Yeah, I did get out of some Fisker here. I just threw an order out on Ford to make sure that we get some 13s if it does break. I got out of some Fisker actually when it was going crazy up here. Thank God I did that because it has faded back in. But I do like this name. Out of all the EV names, and maybe I'll ask Randy when he's on what his appealing. I think it's the Fisker Ocean, if I'm not correct. Randy? Yep. Okay, good. Yeah, so that one right now, apparently that's, an actual thing, not like Lordstown. We'll see if that can come through with
He
anything.
was at the plant. It's an actual, of course.
Yeah.
He had a hat on and everything, Sean.
With the helmet on. Yeah. The Lordstown CEO there at some plant there yesterday. But no, we're just playing around. I don't know. Ride is at $13 going the other way. Fisker looks like it wants to make a move to the high side there. You have all this congestion. I don't think it's really a trade until like 24.50, but it's getting going now. I just need to find out a little bit more about that story before we actually, get too aggressive with it. But that's a big move up, man. 11, 12%. So let's wait to see what it does here. It may fade back in. If you can get out and you bought any of this like around 1920, I just wonder, you take the 10% here in the pre-market, may be wise. I don't have too much confidence. A lot of my sticky note does have the down arrow on it, meaning that I'm thinking that we're going to break levels to the downside. So let's just calm down on some of these moves here. We could be completely wrong. The NASDAQ could blow up today. I have no idea. But when I see a stock up 11.5%, I think it may be worthy of taking some off, and I'll probably do some of that as well if it stays up here anyways, at least for the next hour or so.
Yeah, so sort of speaking of things breaking down, and look, if we're going to talk and briefly mention Lordstown here, worth going over this. Talked about this one yesterday. I wanted a 13 a test at some point. Just wanted to see us actually get to this low, 1280 here. So testing that 13 from yesterday's bottom, that 1280 level, I think is going to be a really, really big one for Lordstown. Whether or not it matters that you see Fisker running here, we'll have to see. Didn't do the break until literally at the end of the day. Now, I don't love a breakdown trade at like 340. The last 30 minutes of the market are their own beast, especially in the last 15 or so. So I still look at this 13 as a bit of an actionable trade. But you go back, and the reason I went back to the daily chart is so you guys could see on that first day of that's for the first push of trading for Lordstown post back is that 1280 bottom. That's where it bounced yesterday. If it cannot hold that price, I think there's definitely going to be a trade through both 13 and 1280. Scalp trades for the most part, I would say at least at 13 because of that 1280 level, but there's no floor on it after that. And it's also one of those situations, if you get a really, really weak fail break, you could have that little quick reversal long, but I would do that. If 1280 fail break, I'd say long at 13 instead of 1280. I'd rather be holding on to that 1280 and give it some room.
Okay, I just wanted to show this first, Robbie, if we could. This is the story I was just showing you. It looks like they're also redeeming some warrants, so just a heads up on that for Fisker. But yeah, they're talking right now with this VinFast company from Vietnam, but also, if you scroll down here in the article, it actually says that the company has also said they're going to work with Fisker. I don't see it right now, but trust me, I read it earlier. So yeah, Foxconn talking with both companies there on the possibility of an EV, which is interesting for Fisker. So we'll keep an eye on that today. I told you it was going to be a little bit of an automotive theme with at Trader TV Randy coming up as well. Later on, we'll talk a little bit about Volkswagen. What a move that stock has had over the past couple of weeks. That is not what I was looking for, but I was going to tell you about the watch list, guys. If you need the link to the new site for the watch list, Valeria will help you out in the chat with that. All you have to do is register with an email. We send it out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. It's absolutely free to use. So make sure you register for the watch list. The first one we'll talk about this morning is Nike reporting aftermarket yesterday. Shares are down. There was an 11% decline in North American sales due to a container shortage. They're blaming that on. I mean, there was also a pandemic, but they did see an uptick in online sales. So Nike a little bit negative here, guys.
Well, I mean, you can't really call BS on the container thing because there's been all kinds of like logistical and shipping issues for many companies. I think that's been talked about a heck of a lot for Peloton, certainly in terms of being able to get deliveries done, and you know, Nike's sort of the same thing, and you've seen a lot of apparel companies as well fall into this sort of bottleneck. And when I was talking about Nordstrom's, I just wanted to show sort of this. It's like a 147 to 1. It's not really 148, but you know, 147 to 148 area top here that Nike has just rejected off of on this earnings play. Now, if we're going to have a bit of a down day, I really like the opportunity. Well, it's probably not going to be today, but I really like the opportunity at like a 130 to 132 defense on Nike. Sitting in the middle of the range isn't always the most appealing, but you always look to see where did we stall in the aftermarket on those earnings plays. Of course, thank you, Richard, for not going away from Palantir because that's what I was looking at. Let's see if we can get it here. There we go. There's Nike. Nope. It hates me. It hates me. It hates me. There we go, Nike. So I look at 135. If I don't think we can get to 132, I think 135. If things would have fallen, like the market would fall to a bottom, that would be where I'd look to pick up Nike. Because I have a bit of a negative tint to the day, I want 140 for a breakdown trade, and that'd be like off the open here. I always look to see where did you stall out in the aftermarket, and it was right at that 140 mark. So I don't like it on a witching day to just immediately jump in the pre-market. Ford, fine. Nike, you know, 20, 30 cent spread, actually looking at a 40 cent spread right here. So I might not like that one right off the open. Allow the stock to legitimately open up, do a little bit of volume, and if we're still in this 140 to 141 range, I want to break out of it. If it does decide to pop up, I'd fade to maybe like a 142 or something along those lines, and hopefully my charts like me at 930.
Yeah, I wrote down here, and I just tweeted it. You can find the sticky note again. So I wrote down 138 just because you know, you did have, this is 139. I'm just giving it a little bit more room down here to 138 and change just to see if we can't. I mean, obviously it ticked down to 135. You don't take any of these first couple wicks, and I guess it's not a wick, it's a whole candle, as too serious there off the earnings report. But if Nike doesn't want to hold this 138, I think it's in trouble. And then to the high side, you know, we've been bouncing around this 142. That's 140, 150, 142-ish area. So I think you have a $4 range right here that'll probably stay for the majority, at least of the open, I'm thinking. And then we'll just, you know, try to find a level that matters, right? Like, if we're thinking negative on Nike, which we are, which is down 2%, I mean, Neil's just covered off a lot of the levels, but if you can get up here to 143, 144, and then look for a short, if it gives it to you, I think that would be a fantastic play into these highs. But then again, you know, it's just so tough. And I talked to some of the traders around here as well, and I know I've said this to you guys before. When you're off earnings, it's just, we're not sure what, the big money really thinks of these earnings, right? We could sit here and analyze the numbers all we want. I've seen, and you guys have seen, what we thought were fantastic numbers. You look for it, like, what do we used to call when it has the triple threat? All the beats, revenue, guidance, earnings, EPS.
Trifecta.
Trifecta, that's what it was. The earnings trifecta, we used to call it, like when we first started the show. And, we'd be like, oh my God, this thing's going down. And then it just starts ripping up. So, we gotta figure out where the big money wants to come. Very dangerous on a day like today where you're gonna get that whipsaw off the open because of the witching and because of the expiration of options and whatnot. So if you want to look that up, quad witching, you can do that. It's easy. You can find that it's the expiration of various, okay, here we go. Futures heading to the downside right now. Look at the NASDAQ right here. Ooh. Anyways, single stock futures, options, and something else expiring today. It's quad. So four, and now you're getting a little move down. Anyways, what I was saying here, wow, okay. Did something just hit? The NASDAQ's heading to the downside here. What's Facebook doing? Let's just see if there's anything that's happening. Wow, okay. Let's go charts. Yeah, Facebook, a nice little $1.50 down.
Tesla $6.50.
What's Apple doing right now? Do you have anything? Emergency capital relief to big banks. Go, Brendan.
Just reading Fed to end emergency capital relief for big banks. It might be just that, guys, at this point, but I'll keep an eye out for anything more. But looks like the Fed has said it will end emergency capital relief for big banks. So a bit of a downtick here.
Okay, because I don't really know what that means, because ending something for big banks. Okay, so JP Morgan says, hold my beer. I don't understand what's happening there, because JP Morgan not really doing too much. Okay, here, now it's starting to go back down. You saw JP Morgan on the daily chart just tick high, and I was saying that we should be getting out of some. I haven't yet, but maybe this is now the time. I mean, I'm not even really sure what this means, but the market right now, she no likey this move, so let's wait to see what happens here with the market coming off quite a bit on that news. I'm not short anything. Some of the levels that I wrote down here for some shorts. Let's check out NEO. That could be moving to the downside. Yeah, okay. 41.50 is going to be a play for me on NEO if that comes through. Yeah, again, this is the daily chart, sorry. Here it is on the minute chart. Yeah, okay, there's a big move down here, down another 50 cents. So let's watch out. That might be a flush. This may be a good opportunity to get long, guys, down here. So I think I might do some shopping, but this is a change here. We were not expecting this.
I'm just going to throw the link in the chat here. I mean, it's not terribly exciting, but if anybody wants to read that, just copy and paste it. That's the link to the press release that just came out. I can show it to you here if you want to have a look at that. But yeah, it was kind of random at 9 a.m. on a Friday morning for the Fed. This is the Fed's website to say that. So there you go. If you want to read that, go ahead. Let's bring in Arun here, get his opinion on what this means for today. Already going to be an interesting day today, Arun, with quad witching. What are your thoughts so far?
Well, today is going to be the most exciting day of the quarter, right? This kind of expiration day, the rebalance day is always going to be exciting towards the end. So two things you got to watch out for. The final 10 minutes, there's going to be a lot of activity, extreme volatility, and then right at the open as well. I would wait until at least the NASDAQ imbalances come out at 928. You're going to see where the larger companies there, like the Apples, the Microsofts, that actually are big portions of the index, where their imbalances sit. So between 928 and into the open, you're going to get a decent move in the futures, specifically the NASDAQ futures, because that has more weight towards the tech industry, which tends to be heavier weighted towards Google, Apple, Microsoft, those kind of companies. So those are the expectations for the day. Extreme volatility at the end, extreme volatility at the beginning. For levels, though, I mean, this recent move here, it kind of confirms the levels that I was considering. 38.95. That's a level we've had in play, I want to say, over a week now. 39.15 down to 38.95 has been in play for a while now. So that 38.95 is still holding well, even with this kind of a release. So 38.95 is still the bottom end level. Now, if we can bounce into the 20s, I think you have to consider the possibility of a short as well, from 25 going up to 45. Just because that whole, this kind of goes back to yesterday. When yesterday I said, if we bounce into the 50s, we have the ability to short from 50 all the way going up to 80. If we got below 25 now, that opens the door for that previous support to become resistance, and it did late session yesterday. So now that previous Support is sitting at resistance at 25 through 45. So if we get into that, expect some selling. I would like to fade that as well if we can get a proper setup up there. Now, if we break through the 95s, I've got no levels, nothing that I can remember, even going back into a week now. So if we break through 95, I think now we really have a chance to extend, especially after the fact that we are stabilizing pretty well here, even with this kind of a release, even this kind of a sharp move down. So 38.95 going down is going to, or 38.95 all the way down to 38.95, we're going to find some support. And I think I would fade anything into the 20s, 25s, up to 45.
Yeah, huge bounce. As you said there, Arun, great stuff. Thanks so much. We'll check back in again on Monday. Best of luck today. We're maybe much to see about nothing, guys. We're almost right back to where we were. So we'll keep an eye on the overall market as we go forward here. Let's have a look at Plug Power. Next, back on the list again this morning. For the past couple of days, we've been talking about their need to restate both 2018 and 2019 financials. They announced that back on Tuesday after they found some accounting errors. Another one that was pretty weak yesterday.
Yeah, Plug Power, I just tweeted out, so we take advantage of that little dip there. We buy some Palantir defending that 24 area. We pick some up, not at the very bottom, like when it was happening, I was like, what the hell's going on? But we pick some up there at 13, out at 24, and then out at 29, or what did I get there? 26s and 24s. So a couple quick little dime pieces there on Palantir. So we'll wait to see if the market wants to rebound a little bit. It looks like it clearly is. That was just a swoosh down there, like we've seen happen numerous times, and then a battle right back. Like I actually, you know what? We'll talk about Plug in a minute, but Facebook, look at that. Like I remember I went right over to Facebook, guys, and bang, like it was down to 280, and now you're back to 281.80. Like that was $2. Like obviously, by me picking Palantir, I took more shares because I'm more comfortable with a $20 stock as opposed to, I'm not more comfortable, but just in this environment with the spread now being 90 cents, well, not 90 cents, 70 cents there off that. But, as it moves, a little bit more liquidity there in Palantir for that. But Plug Power, look, it's the same story for all of these stocks, man. They just continue to get beat down a little bit here. We've talked about some of these other names, Blink, Plug. They're all the same. We took some money off this name in the last little while on some of these moves. Check out the daily chart for Plug as well. Like what was going on up here, man? $67. Like if you like this space, like what a great opportunity now to get back in. I just can't say that enough. There is a base right here, man. 32, 33 is a pretty sweet little base there. Remember where we've come from though, guys. Like this was $12, $13, much lower if I go back even. But this looks like a good little hold spot here. We did gap up. These were news of them getting their equipment out, and now you're right back down to that level again. So 32.80. If this can hold, that's fantastic. I think Plug's a pickup here for the long. And it's just a matter of what's going to happen today as we get that flush there. Makes me a little nervous about this market today. So Plug on the downside right now. It's not loved. I think you just got to look short on some of these.
Yeah, I'm thinking short on Plug today, and most of it has to do with we tried the rubber band effect to some success for the long trade on the initial push down, of course, when they restated those earnings for 18 and 2019, and then it was all sell in yesterday's action. And I didn't hold on to my short there. I covered with tighter stops than maybe I should have, and worked in some other ones that worked out for me. But I should have stuck with Plug. I like a pop if it goes to 37. I'd probably fade into that and be patient. 36 is a decent starting point, if only because it was support that has now been broken in yesterday's close. The other thing to keep in mind with Plug is it's got a nice area, and Sean already pointed it out there for that little long term. Anytime you get that little dip down into these types of ranges, and we've now sort of twice held this 32.80, this 33 area, which is right in the middle of that chop zone. So that's okay for a bit of a move to the downside to be able to pick some up. I'm just looking short for the day trade, particularly in Plug. But on the long end, just keep in mind when they restated things, it was really mostly about look, it's just a bunch of accounting. Their cash position didn't change or anything like that. And it's not necessarily something that was fundamental negatively towards the business and its prospects. It's just that the stock was already in a heavy reversal, having lost almost 50%. Actually 50% from the tops. And then you see some more people doing some profit taking, and then of course some scares in the tech space and some of the higher valuation names piled into that. I'm going to take the short side of it because that's the sentiment I like in today's trade. But if it got down to 33, that could change fast.
All right, FedEx next, reporting aftermarket yesterday as well. Big beat for FedEx, as to be expected. Given the pandemic, they had a great holiday quarter as well. They delivered 500 million packages during the holiday period. So huge beat for FedEx, up 5% here, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think this name works in pandemic time. It works out of pandemic time. I don't think there's anybody going to be changing some of their habits that they've already created now through this. A lot of people love online shopping, people getting their groceries online, everything online. Not that FedEx has too much stake in the grocery game, I don't think, anyways. Maybe they have a deal with somebody. 278. I mean, a great move down yesterday into earnings. We saw that the whole market got killed, and then FedEx holds that 263, and then reports a nice number to the upside. So you have an easy break of 278.50. We're still a while away from that. Well, actually, not really. You're about $1.10 away from that 278.50 break right there. That I think is worth it. You check FedEx out on a. Oops, I guess you won't check it out on a daily chart. Let me see if I can just hit enter one more time here. FedEx on a daily, it's still stuck, but it looks like it's breaking out right now. Yeah, actually it is breaking out. So, oh, this was a little level that I must have highlighted before. Wow, that actually stayed? Okay, that's strange. I didn't put that there now. That must have been back on pre-earnings there. And yeah, that's a consolidation area. But this is what I'm talking about right now. We are breaking out, so it's right this level. If I could draw a little line there, shout out to JR wanting the technical analysis. But here it is. You're in this little range, basically 250 to 270-ish, and now we're breaking out. And even if you could even draw another line right here on the upside, like right here, just breaking through some of this area to get to this top heavy 300. So we're trying to get out now, and I think as I just showed you, I think it was 278 was looking pretty good. So any kind of a break up here, I think makes sense. You don't often get FedEx up that 5%. So let's see if it can hold. And it actually didn't do anything, which was even more impressive. It didn't do anything on that move down that we just had there. So FedEx is not even moving, which makes me believe that we're going to go upside here through 278.50. Definitely worth a look. I just hope I can catch it off. I don't want to catch it off the open. I just hope I can, catch it when it starts to move. I'm not going to really put any orders in for the open trade, except the only one I really do like is Ford. If it does break through 13, we'll see if we can test that one. But FedEx is a buy through that 278.50 IMO, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think you give it to that 277. I don't think it's an iceberg order, but you love those little tight consolidations. I just wish it had done more volume and it had some more liquidity there. But there is a sell order on the 278 eligible for the open for literally half the pre-market volume, so it has to chew through that. First, I like FedEx to the long side as well. I even look to be picking it on the dip if it can actually get anywhere close to like a 50% retracement off of the 77 to like 63, which was yesterday's close. So call it like a 270 area if you do get any kind of a dip that's really, really strong. I'd love to be buying FedEx there.
All right, guys, no additional news on AMC today, but very, very active in the pre-market again this morning. Already over 1 million shares for AMC. They said earlier in the week, by the end of this month, they would have most, quote unquote, most of their cinemas in the U.S. back open and operating again for AMC, guys.
So you guys are going to probably, look, for those of you watching the show, you're going to remember that there were great longs in AMC when you were catching those dips, and it was great off of 14. But every time we got to this 1450 area, just resistance, resistance, resistance. And it's the same thing again today. Like the pre-market, we're trying to pop into it. The only thing about a level like that, and I said this to end the show, I want the long break when it happens, right? So I'm willing to, and I did this a couple of times, I'm willing to get in. If it doesn't go, get out. If you can take, like the first time I think I lost a couple of pennies, the second time I lost like 10 cents on the trade. And then that dip buy at 14.10 was giving you 10, 20, 30, 40 cent wins pretty much at the very, very top end of the range. So you can always make that money back as long as you stay nimble. And I wouldn't get married to any of the breakout trades. So I'm staying away from any pre-market high breaks. I'm not touching 1440. I'll have a look at that 1445 if we get there. And then of course the weekly high at 1472, that would be an interesting one to me. I do also think you can short off of those levels as well. It is what it is. And if we're going to have a bit of a downward day in the market, and if there is any kind of a pullback, you can't ignore the fact that it did turn into AMC a bit of a sell in the afternoon's trade. I only had the one short on it in that afternoon trade, but it was certainly a solid one when it gave you that little rollover. And you look at a level like that, 1440, just over and over and over again, it kept touching it, finally got a bit of a short into this chop range, and then that's a pre-market high. And that's why I don't love that break into 1450. So It's got to be 55 for the breakout if it ever gets to that price. Otherwise, I'm going to be fading AMC on those little pops. 14 was a great dip buy before. I'd probably wait a little bit deeper in this morning's action because of witching, like closer to that 1360 area.
Yeah, I'm actually looking right here at this 1350 dead in the face right now. You know, we've held there a couple times in the past couple days. I mean, just yesterday and the day before. 1350 was an area. Once we broke that area, we went up to 1450. So basically, you have this dollar range right now, and we're stuck deep in the middle right now, at exactly in the middle at 14. So I already have the order in. I want to smash this short. So if it does go back down to 1350, I think we can hit the short down through 13 even, and then maybe even test 1250 today. Remember, I mean, AMC could be, and I know that a lot of you probably are long AMC, and I like the break through 1450 the same way that I actually like the short through here. I just think that the negative day, the negative talk, options expiring. If AMC doesn't go, a lot of these calls are going to be completely worthless. So they're not going to have to buy shares back to cover the calls. And if, some people might have $15 calls, could be, close to worthless right now. So let's just see if the Redditors and if the market wants AMC to continue to go up so that they can print some option profits today, then yeah, 1450 is going to be a great break, and I'm going to be part of that as well. So, but I actually think the other way is what's going to happen. It's been a huge move up, and I just wonder if we're going to get a lot of interest here on AMC today at this 1350 level because of the expiration. So we'll wait. It's a dollar range. I'm going to take a 1450 break with not as many shares as I'll take a short through 1350. So that's the goods on AMC.
All right, Tesla pushing to day lows, session lows here in the pre-market, guys. One of the more weak charts I've looked at so far, down about a full percent. They're investigating a second collision this week that they think had to do with their autopilot. There was the one in Michigan where a vehicle ran into a state trooper patrol car. There was another one later in the week. So there's that. And then China's military, interesting story, came out this morning and said they're not allowing Tesla vehicles on property, on military property, because of issues or concerns they have with the cameras that are in the cars.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what you do with that story. I'm sure we can all read into some of the politics that might be involved in a story like that. There was an interesting meeting, first meeting with U.S. diplomats and Chinese officials for a photo op that was supposed to be 4 minutes that lasted an hour because of some arguing and some back and forth there. So I'll stay to that. And I think if we're going to, and literally as the NASDAQ tries to catch a little bit of a bounce here, and we're back at that 12.8. So maybe not the massive flush that we're seeing, as Sean mentioned. But Tesla did just break through the 650 area. And unlike, Sean, you pointed out Palantir, you pointed out Facebook, I'm sure you could look at a few other names here. Unlike those, Tesla's sort of holding when it broke that level on that little flush to the downside that we had just a few minutes or so ago. And a lot of times this has been the bellwether, or one of the bigger bellwethers for these harsh reversals, or not harsh, but these reversals that we've had overall in the tech space, NASDAQ, and the EV space as well. So this is going to be big. If Tesla doesn't hold, if Tesla doesn't get back above that 650, it might be a bit of a sign for things to come in the overall market. And I think I'm already thinking the short side on something like an AMC, and of course we're just day trading here. But you get emboldened with Tesla below a 650. I don't really love any obvious areas, and a lot of times I have, this is where it's a bottom pick, let's defend that level if we get there on Tesla. And outside of literally just around 600, I'm not really looking at anything too deep. There is that 620 from before, but last time I played that level, it was a little bit tricky, so it'd be more of a judgment call when it got down to 620 if it is a bit of a sell-off day. But I love Tesla as a barometer, and that 650 is a bit of a big tell here in the pre-market.
We averaged into some Palantir, but I did want to show you guys, it's NEO time. Go, guys. There it is. NEO time. 4150 right there was the mark that we had for NEO, and then look where it just dropped down to 4150. So, or 4160. So it went to 4160 there on this drop, and just like Tesla, it doesn't look like NEO wants to recover from this move downside. So, we talked about this a little bit as I was opening the show. Like, this was a big move, man. Like, it even started basically early yesterday at 10 o'clock. I mean, there's not too many stocks that started this early, but NEO did. It tried, and then it tried again at 11 o'clock to go higher, and then it just started. And then when the market started cascading to the downside there, 44 down to 41. There's that 41.50. I mean, if it's not staring you in the face right there, that's the level that I like to break to the downside. It held it yesterday, so we could hold. There's no doubt about that. So we could hold that level, but for right now, man, it is holding. I like NEO better than Tesla today. I just think that the action is great in NEO to the downside. We do have a lot of opportunities there, and at the same time, if it does break up, you do have 42.50 right here. So there's just there seems like the dollar levels seem to be key today. Whether or not you're busting through the dollar on Palantir, whether or not you're in the range there. We talked about FedEx, and then now NEO, either a 42.50 break or a 41.50 break. I like both of those, and again, hopefully not hitting right off the open, but that NEO level of 41.50 there that held after market basically yesterday should be something to watch out for. I think Randy so far today has had like fruit salad now. I think he's had a couple egg sandwiches, a couple of croissants. He's getting ready for the show. It should be a big one when he comes on at 11. And it's funny I just bring it up because we're talking NEO, Tesla. He's gonna be talking some Volkswagen. So if you are into, cars and automotive and what's been happening with some of these stocks, pay attention and tune in, or don't leave us anyways, but 11 o'clock is when Randy's coming back. And then just a quick, or not coming back, coming on. And just a quick look here at Palantir. We did buy again at the bottom. And you might think like, okay, I'm really loving Palantir. I actually don't. I like to trade it. But it holds some of these even levels and just gives you some scalping opportunities. We talked about it the other day. It's not the day trade stock that it used to be. I think we can keep buying levels on Palantir because we keep dipping into this 23, and we got another gift yesterday, possibly down to 24, which is right where we are now. I think as long as we can hold these levels, 22.50, even down to 21 won't scare me that much. But I just keep talking about it because I think that there is some upside potential in Palantir, and we've seen what happens when the market runs. This thing can run. And again, it's only a $24 stock. So when you're looking to take shares, I know there's a lot of traders out there that don't have huge accounts. Like my buying power is huge, but a lot of people's, I could trade the same amount of shares on Tesla probably than I can comfortably on Palantir. But the point is, a lot of you can't, right? So you got to watch out here. I'm trying to trade lower price stocks that have opportunities to move. That's why I'm talking about NEO. That's why I continue talking about Palantir, AMD, DraftKings, things like that. So I like Palantir. And hey, I'm in the money now, 6 cents, which doesn't seem like a lot. I'm hoping we can get back to 24.50.
All right, big battle going on this super calm right now, SPCB. Another one with news here in the pre-market. They were trying to hold it above $3 there. Just failed, it looks like. So back below $3 for SPCB, up 100% in the pre-market. Let's talk about Skills, SKLZ. This one's been a high flyer all week long, very volatile. Recent SPAC conversion. They provide monetization services for esports game developers. They announced a 17 million share offering after market yesterday. So Skills back to the downside here today.
Yeah, down 10. It actually broke that short sell restricted. So, I mean, you can't hit that bid, need an uptick if you want to remove liquidity from the bid. Looking at a 24.60 level initially here, and if it wasn't witching day, maybe would have had a little bit of this one in the pre-market. I was looking at SNES, which we'll talk about, and actually traded that in the pre-market instead. If we do get a pop into this 24.60 range, that's probably the first short that I will have in Skills. Through 24 would have been an interesting break had it happened at the open, but I'll sort of throw that one out the window because you've gone back and forth through 24 like almost half a dozen times, well, four times to be precise. So even if it breaks now, it's not really going to be on my radar for taking out that little bottom. The reason why it is interesting down at this price, you sort of go back to, and again, you talk about this flush, and we'll go over March 8th over and over again, but some of these bottoms, and this is 23 in particular in Skills, and why a 24 break was interesting is a lot of times you will test a level like this on weakness. We have not done that yet. It does feel like the stock wants to try to get there. Anytime you have an offering, it tends to maybe put some gravity around that actual price of 24 even as well. So holding that would be a good sign for Skills. I'm playing the short end today. That 24.60, if it ends the opening range above that price, like the first half an hour or so, maybe you look a bit of bullish on a rubber band action play. But otherwise, Skills, it's going to be a short for me, fading that 24.60 level. First things first. Another good sign here, I'm just watching Ford here, for those of you watching, I know Sean, you're watching as well. Good sign, it's just basically, I mean, it came off of 13, like 12.95, but didn't even budge, holding right at the top end of the range, which I think is really good for that potential breakout trade as the market came off a bit, and Ford just stayed right there at the top.
Yep. I do like Ford, and I think skills through 24 is still fine. It's on my sticky note there that you guys have all been looking at. Thank you for all the likes there on the Twitter account for that. $24 to the downside. I still like that for skills. We'll see. I mean, it's just been getting. I mean, you've seen the moves. We talked about the moves in the afternoon for all stocks yesterday. So let's just give this back to see what happens here. $23, $24. I don't mind the long either. But again, it's just about whatever bias you have for today. I think you got to sort of sit on your hands a little bit and see what's going to happen. Let's call up the imbalance locator. Look, I mean, that Ford paired off. Ford was 1 point something million. Now it's paired down. You can see, oh, wow, actually, you see, this is how you look at these things. So this is what's paired off so far. So paired value PV. So that plus that, so you get like 2.8 million shares. And they've already paired it off. So they've already matched those shares. So those shares have been matched. Net leaves net on balance 400,000 shares, right? And so there's still a buy, but you can see Ford coming back down now. So just a quick look. I've talked about XOM. The level I wrote down was 56.50. Oh God, we're getting there right now on XOM, 56.50. So this looks like this is going to break to the downside before we get a chance to short it. But I prefer XOM. That would be one of my favorite stocks to take off the open here, XOM.
All right, there was a few NFT-related stocks moving around yesterday. This was not one of them, but it is NFT-related, popping up this morning on news. So we had that YVR from out in Vancouver here in Canada. There was that Sino Holdings, S-I-N-O, with NFT-related news. This one today, ZKIN, all the way back from 14, we're at 10.5. We're kind of chopping around in a range here between 11 and kind of 10.25. So it gets above 11. This could get strong and start moving back to the upside, but needs to get it back above 11. Same story on the bottom end here. It needs to break out of this little consolidation. But ZKIN, guys, non-fungible tokens related.
Yes, sir. I'll definitely go watching that one, but I shifted over to that SPCB because I actually like the breakdown at 280 if I can get it. I like Occidental. I mean, going back to the roots, when we were more heavily trading on the show here in some of the energy space, I think I had most of my success in this name for sure. I'm looking at 2650. Look, it's a similar play. It almost doesn't matter where you go here. It just happens. Yesterday's close, 2662. 3 minutes to the open here, but we actually had a bit of a bottom here at 2650. So that's the breakdown I like on Oxy. XOM, Oxy, doesn't really matter. You can probably look at Chevron as well. Did Ford? Yeah, Ford actually just broke that 1290, so it looks like it is headed a little bit southbound to 1280. I still like the breakout, but if it goes too far to the downside, I usually cancel that order and then wait to see how it moves back into that range. So 280 breakdown on that SPCB that Brendan brought to my attention for sure, and then off the open looking for Oxy through 2650 was my play in the energy space.
A big shout out here, Russell Jackson. What's up, my friend? Glad you're with us today. Black gold is almost as good as bacon. Good one. And I agree. So a little bit of a laugh there. Non-fungible token there, NFT. Yeah, there it is. Okay, you guys are all over this. Thank you. So, okay, yeah. Look, someone asked a question and bang, our community. Thank you so much, guys, for helping us with all that. Okay, I didn't wait. I didn't wait at all. This wasn't even a stop order, man. I just hit NEO to the short side right now, and I put on a decent position, but because we're only 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes out now. So NEO, I hooked that short right now through 50. I didn't want to wait. It was just one of those plays, and again, on my list here, I'm not going to wait for this thing to break. So we did take it, and here we go, guys, right away in the money, 10 cents. We're short exactly. Oh no, actually, we're short at what? We're short at 49. I thought I punched 50 pretty clean, but here we go, man. It's already falling down this market, so we can look to take out a little bit of profit here on the downside. We'll put some bids in the low 30s just to see if we get swooped down. It does touch down as 35 there, as low as can be. But to start the day here with a little short stop here in NEO. But look at the spread. Like now it's 41.6. Like so, this thing is just getting ready to go one way or the other. A quick look on the NASDAQ imbalance. We said we would do this. Should be big. Nah, not. FCell, SNDL, nothing. Apple with a bid. Microsoft, I just saw with a bid. right there as well. There's Apple, PayPal there as well. So looks like there's some bids on some big boys there. Quick check before we open, because we're almost ready to go, on what's happening with the New York, and it looks like nothing again. So let's just wait on Ford. I'm already short NEO. We'll get out of this one if it goes back above 42. We have Palantir long, NEO short to start with, and a bunch of other things ready. I'm going to get ready to go long on Rocket as well if we can.
Yeah, I'm going to go to this SENS, Sensatech. You'll see it on the watch list. Make sure you guys are following along on the website there. I did have a good play on this in the earlier pre-market here when it popped to this 320 level, so I am still watching that, but all kinds of support down at this like 290, 285, 290 area. If it pops down through there, I'm going to like it, not to get it mixed up with SPCB that has a very similar priced bottom break that I like. But if there's a push to the upside at 930, and we see this almost all the time on a name like this, I'm looking more at the 360 area if it can get there as a first rollover spot. But it's 30 seconds to the bell. I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest that when Randy's here, he's going to be ringing the bell. And because of all that energy he has, eating all of the food that was in the back there, I'm sure he's going to do some absolute damage to that bell. So looking for a pop in SNES, still have that order ready to locked and loaded to go on plug. And of course, we're looking at that Ford as well. But let's drop this countdown. Let's end this week off well. It's been a fantastic one. I'm sure today will be good. Randy has a normal looking mallet. What's he going to do here as the market opens in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Auto enthusiast, I like it.
Wake up, America. Okay, here we go. So we're out of Palantir as it breaks back down below. We did get that bid at 30 there on NEO, so that one does come through. Watch out for the NASDAQ. It looks like it's doing nothing right now, but here we go. Trying to settle down. A little bit of a bid there on NEO. We did take that one, and then Palantir does flush to the downside through 23, so really nothing lost there, out and in. We just should have been shorting this one. Oh, the Palantir trade I liked was a short as well, so let's wait to see if that comes through. This bottom, 23.75. Looks like the bottom wants to fall out a little bit in some of these names, guys.
Yeah, and Skills is trying to test up a little bit here. You're seeing it. I just got the first fill there in Skills as it popped right into this like top of the range, like 24.20. I like this to 24.60. That'll be the initial position for me. Plug looks like it's holding 35 for now, so I want to see that one pop a little bit more, maybe into that 36 range. Be some more. Show a little bit of patience with that particular name, and then do want to get over to oh, there it is. Actually just got that SPCB. I want to talk about Nike for a second, but that just broke that 280, got 77s in here. So thank you, Brendan, for bringing this one to our attention. Love that level break. Going to quickly scalp out of some of that, and then just got some more shares, of course, in that SNES, which is showing a bit of weakness as it popped through 280 as well, both breaking 280 this and SPCB.
Yeah, I was looking at Nike here, looking at 38s, but right now it's really not doing too much. Like we said, it's just kind of hovering around here. If we break through 38, we may be on to something, or you can wait to see about grabbing a short upside around like, actually, you know what? I think I'll put an order in around 140.50 or so just to see if I can get a short through there. NEO working for us, or was working. We got some 14s, 13s, and 30s, and 14s to the downside. So a couple nice little pickups there on the downside of NEO, but will this market bounce? It looks like it wants to start going to the upside. Let's check out FedEx here. 278.50 held a little bit. So 279.30 it looks like was a good hold there for NEO. Carnival crashing down, but here goes NEO back to the upside. So may just get out of this one and then just see what happens here as the NASDAQ looks like it wants to continue to go, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of skills, trying to get those skills to pay the bills, Bills, my team, of course. Forget about those Patriots, Tyrone Biggums. 24.60 did have a bit of a fail in here at 45s. I probably should have rolled into some shares there, but was managing over an SPCB and, of course, that SNES trade. I'll be a little bit more aggressive, I think, if we roll over at 24.40 one more time here on skills, but just got triggered into plug. Of course, we're talking about this one. If it did make a test of 36, I like that 37 as a big area. And then if it ever got to 40, you saw the damage that 40 did. It was just an absolute fail on those longs that we had into 40 the other day. So I like the short initially. That's what we talked about. Short in front of 36 here on plug. Brendan?
We mentioned the possibility of some pretty large prints as far as volume is concerned this morning. This one leading right now. Look at the volume on the open there. For FedEx, guys, through 280 for FedEx.
Yeah, I went long. So right now I'm long 280. I want to try to get longer. I'm bidding down in here, 279 and change. I don't want to keep on busting out the highs, but this is a nice little win. So far, 280.30. We just had it just topped out to 281. We'll see if it can take out 281 here and continue to go to the high side. So we do have some FedEx shares on board right now, looking to get longer, at 279, like right here. Ah, man, it just keeps on. And the spread is so big. It's like 50 cents basically. So sitting on the bid, I'm just hoping I can get picked up if it does swoosh itself down. But there it goes anyways, man. Hit the cowbell up to 281. A nice little win here for FedEx. Let's see how far it can go. And then NEO just doing nothing. It comes back down to 50 and we got some out. So let's wait to see what NEO wants to do on the downside. Adios FedEx, a nice little win for us now as it's breaking up to 281, 282. No real targets on this thing. We have some consolidation up near 290, but I think that would be great if it went to that high. Well, let's wait at some 284s here, see if we get some out on FedEx. But right now, things going pretty good, just not much action right here.
Yeah, I'll ride the bear for that SPCB here. Just got some shares out in front of 260. It did have a couple of bids and another bid down in front of this level here. Just want to show you guys in the pre-market, it did have a bit of a bounce after gapping up off 250. That's why I'll always take some profit out in front of it. I love that 280 break. I'll fade in front of 3 even if it gives it to me one more time here. But I'm loving the fact this is looking very weak. Brendo, what's up, bud?
Yeah, just a heads up, guys. The 10-year, just checking on the 10-year quote here, back to 174. If you remember, in the pre-market, it was 162. So a bit of a pop back up for the 10-year, guys.
Okay,
Nike.
So right now, yeah, we've got Nike short, so no worries on this one. But let's just see what it does. We got Nike short through 138. It's not, that was the level, again, given to you here on the sheet. We'll see what we can get out. I'm here in the 60s. I'm also down here in the 50s and the 30s. And let's just see if it can go to the downside now. Nike trying to make some moves here as the market just really not doing anything. This Nike, it could be in trouble at some point, but we'll wait to see. What is in trouble right now, though, is FedEx, as that's falling back down. We did take an average in there, but right now FedEx falling back down in here a little bit. No worries, it's just a spread worries me a little bit here. There it goes. So we're out of FedEx there as the spread, did get us a little bit as it's coming back down. So we tried FedEx, it breaks through view up and we get out. But right now Nike is of my concern. Nike and NEO, a nice little out on NEO there as it keeps going back down. Should have averaged into that short here today. We do have short bias. So right now short Nike and short NEO makes sense to me, and let's see if it can hold.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. So I got that 35.80, 88 short there on plug power, and you're going to see just absolutely flushing to the downside. I tried to catch more when it took out 36 on the downside. That's my order. I don't want to get picked up on the way back up here. I tried to get more shares at the exact same price, right at 90, and then it just absolutely cratered on me. So I wanted that first rollover testing 36, able to take a quick 50-cent winner here, but immediately it flushed down $1. So we'll go with this guy. Whatever the heck that thing is, guys, you got to give me a name for this. So the forward moonwalk or whatever it is, a reverse moonwalk. If it comes anywhere close to that like 35.90, I'll make a quick little judgment call for a reload. But that's a heck of a flush there. And then SNES, you know what? I'm just going to call that Super Nintendo. Whatever. Or we'll call it like the Mario Kart stock. This one also going to the downside for me pretty well. I was able to pick some more shares up. I said if it tested back up towards $3, I'd get in again. So I did get the reload here at 290, better than the price I had on the 280 break, and that's now down at 260. So the short's coming in for me here, but that plug sort of came out of nowhere, big time reversal flush. I did try to get more shares, just not quite fast enough.
Yeah, CCL flushing as well right now. It just broke through some key levels, 277.50 or so on. I'm not even on it. I'm watching FedEx on CCL. There it is. Big move down here. Where's the chart? Didn't fill out there. It's just hitting that little level right now, 27.50. Sorry for that. Nike, we did get some out there at in the 50s. So that was not a huge trade. That was about 50 cents. We're going to wait to see if it wants to come back to the downside now as the future is just trying to figure itself out. We knew this would happen, guys. We'll check back with Ford, but right now with Brendan. What's up?
Clovis Oncology, guys. Big pop here right off the bat in the open. It was up in the pre-market as well. 31%, just broke 7 there on a big volume spike. But positive data out from them on an ovarian cancer study, guys.
And we come from Brandon. We'll power up over here because Look, if I'm gonna, I can't be talking about SE and NES and not hit that key. So guys, gets to that 260. I just took another leg out here. Happy with this, but also happy with the other name that got brought to our attention. If the watch list isn't good enough for you guys, if getting real-time news like from Brendan on something like SPCB making moves and then potentially flushing through 3 even, it did. You could have had it. He said it was a key area 3. You actually could have got this one at 3 even. I waited for the 280 break. It's leveling off where? Look at this pre-market dip at 250. Yeah, leveling off right at that price. So, of course, I'm going to take some more out in front of 250. If 250 breaks, I'll probably enter into another trade here on that name. Plug comes almost all the way back here, guys. That was one heck of a flush in plug power. Quickly got out. It went down as low as 35. So, I mean, if I'd had bids out there, and I was trying to get more shares, that's why I didn't have the bids out. That's pie in my face a little bit. If we can get a rollover, and I mean like a failure in and around the same 36 area, I'll try to jump into a plug again. Playing the weak side of this trade, probably at least until 37.
Yeah, we can floss this off. We can hit whatever we want right now because it's a cash register kind of day right here if you're short. Like we said that in the early going, man. A lot of my lists, man, have shorts connected to it, and we did exactly what we did. Look at this. 41, I mean, look at the cheat sheet. 41.50 short, NEO right now, 70 cents in the money. Nike, 138 short. We're just cashing in on Nike right now as well as that continues to go to the downside. 137.25, bang, bang, a couple little bangers there for you. So we'll go mamma mia as Nike continues to fall back down to the downside right now. Our best out there, 130. Hey, look, who knows? If the market wants to fall today, who knows how far Nike could go? Let's give us some ideas. I do have a bid at 136.50, so let's see if that does come through. And then our last little fill, and I don't know about a last one, but we did have a bottom fill there. We are almost out of our NEO right now as it just flushed out, so we can cancel some of our stop orders to the upside here as those may not fill. But there goes Nike continuing, man. Let's see a 137 break, Nike, and then we'll see if we can test that 136.50. Just be patient with some of these shorts here, guys.
And we said we talk about like day 2 type plays. JFIN was a mover in yesterday's action. Certainly you saw all kinds of a move to the upside in the morning. It then had multiple halts downside and then showed all kinds of weakness trying to break above 11 even. You had this floor at $9. I was watching it all afternoon, making some trades here. But when I see it flush through, get a $1 move down to 8 and then retest 9 even, I'm going to short that play. I just got some shares there at 92s. I want to give it to pre-market highs at this 925 area, but short this JFIN now at 92. Brendan?
Wise Key, another one in the non-fungible tokens group. Popped up here yesterday, multiple halts, huge move up to 15.5 in the afternoon yesterday, testing 12 here once again on decent volume for W Key. Guys.
Okay. Yeah, just waiting, man. I mean, Nike, just to get you guys an update here, I've just been getting out. It's hovering around this 50. I do have lower bids, like I told you, 136.50. And I think with this move down, we could probably hold right now. So let's see if that can go and get us out of this Nike trade, hopefully for a nice little winner. What a good move down here. We talked about holding on to some shorts today. And again, if you're watching me for this watch list, guys, today, it's just been hot fire. As you can see, the only 2 trades I've taken off of it has been this great short here on NEO as we continue. $1 now in the money as the pins line up for NEO trade. And then it's $1 in the money right now for Nike. So we're holding, well, not $1, 80 cents. We're holding both of these. Let's see how far we can go down. Look at the market, guys. Puking right here, just as expected.
I got a key for that. It's the flush short JFIN 892. Just got some out at 840 for a 50-cent win. It's close to that $8 low of the day. Still short plug power in that. That's in the money for me, 60 pennies. SPCB, which of course Brendan brought to you guys, and this is why we rush to give you names that we see that are moving, because we know there's going to be opportunities. That just broke 250 briefly here, so took some more shares out of that one. And SNES also looking pretty good. I mean, Skills also just broke 24 even, so I mean, look, it almost doesn't matter. Any one of these shorts is going to be good for you here. I actually got more shares on the 24 break. I have yet to take profit because I want to see this thing through the low of the day, 23.80. There's some trades that are going to be scalp trades, and we talked about Skills. If it cannot hold at that issue price, of course, maybe retesting that 23 level from the 9th. Was it the 8th or the 9th? March 8th, that 23 bottom. A lot of stocks had their bottoms in that particular day. I'd love to see us test down there. So first things first, got to get to that 23.50. We like the 50s. We like those quarters. We'll play Skills to the downside, but all these shorts in the money here.
Money. Look at Nike, man. Neil, you hit that one right on the head, man. Nike right now, a big drop. I mean, again, Like, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking that sticky note. Thank you for, keep coming back every single day. This is a $2 winner right now as we're going to bust through. There we go. Bang! Another out for us on Nike. Short through 138. Let's go! We gave this one to you, really early. Obviously, it was one of the very first. It is the first name on our watch list. So big time trade there at Nike. Man, oh man, did this have to break VWAP or what? But we had FedEx, man. But the only problem with that was it did break our neck there on that move down. Not break our neck. We're fine. I mean, we're completely fine. This is going to be our losing trade, though. We did average into FedEx. It was right, but we got out down there, and that's going to happen every time to me with the shares that I trade. Just sometimes trade too many shares, guys, and I need to get out. So that was that mistake. But wow, big time move to the upside. I told you. What else did I tell you about AMC? That we would come to that 1350. I did just go short there, 1350. Oh, I must have missed it the first time. Oh, damn! I must have missed it the first time, and then it filled me on the way back up. But look at that AMC short that we gave you guys. 1350 went all the way down to 1328 there on AMC. I just wish I would have had that trade to begin with. Now I got to fight this move back up, as it may have just made a bottom. So I may get out of this AMC and then see if it does retest back one more time. 1375 is going to be my out. We'll use VWAP here now that we're in, guys.
Oh my goodness, I should not be looking a gift horse in the mouth. Look, I could use the Super Nintendo one, but I've already used it a couple of times here. SNES, reload at 290, you just got, that also broke 250. So SPCB, SNES, it's easy to confuse the two. Short both of them in front of $3, 277 and 290, but just got this one, more shares out at 290. Probably took too many shares off in front of 260, but either way, shorted this in the pre-market, shorted this post-open, looking rather good so far. And when we talk about this skills trade, the only thing, and it's in the money, I've taken some profit on this name here, but is only, well, actually, no, I haven't taken any profit on this particular name. I've taken profit on just about every other short trade that I've had. I missed the rollover to get more shares at like 24.45. Didn't get it till it broke 24. I'll take some now out in front of, and it's because it's reckless not to, just because I didn't get more shares and get the position I wanted. That's not a reason not to take some profit off in front of the low of the day, current low of the day, which I almost always would. So I'm not going to change my plan. I was thinking about it then. I'm like, no, that's not a good decision. So if we do test that low, I want to get some out in front of it. I'm still going to hold to see if we can't get to that 23.50 and then 23.25. And of course, 23 even is a key level. I wanted to just quickly check in on a name that interested in here in Pinterest, because if it's a down day, we start talking about your shopping list. Pinterest is actually on mine. I just want to quickly show you guys. If this breaks through yesterday's low, got to be thinking about 65 on Pinterest if you like this name. Of course, I've been long forever on Pinterest, but you can start to think about what is that shopping list? What do you like to pick up on some dips here today? And we're testing some of those lows in the NASDAQ, and if they break, I'm holding shorts. I'm looking to be patient with any longs. Brennan?
Outside of FedEx today, finding strength is pretty difficult. Even the banks here, guys. Have a look at JP Morgan just breaking day lows there on a volume spike, 153. These are big levels for some of the banks, guys.
Yeah, well, they had that news. Remember I said hold my, remember I said hold my beer. JP Morgan, damn you, FedEx, honestly. This could have been like just a big day for us, because we would have had JP Morgan now $2 in the money. We've already hit Nike for that profit as well. And then now, okay, let's go back to AMC as we're actually in that name. We just took some out at 43 there. Like I said, we took some out at 52 because we wanted the short when it broke down, and I actually just missed it, and I got it on the way back up. My order just went pending there, and then it got filled on the way back up, so I didn't cross down aggressively enough. Like, that was a monster winner for me. If I would have got those shares in and I would have took them out, probably 30, something like that, right where we're doing right now. So let's put another bid down here, 35. And again, I did call that AMC short through 1350, but I do like the long still if it gets going. But right now, this market, I mean, we talked about options and what that could do to AMC and what that might look like for them today. So now it's coming back to the downside. I do have that bid at 37, actually, ahead. Actually, that is 37 right there. Okay, I thought it was 35, but now we're bidding 37. Let's see if we get picked up on the downside. But a nice little win here for us. 80 cents right now on Nike. Our best out on this one is 136.29. We're going to get out the last bid if it breaks through VWAP right there. I have 5% left on this trade, so it's not a big one. And There it is, guys. A big move down now for AMC as we get the love that we are hoping for. Down to 37, we get that fill, hits in our account, and bang that one to the upside. Well, to the downside. I don't know where it's going to go now, but I think if this market can continue to go negatively here, AMC should follow. I'll put another bid there. It did hold that level. How many times? 1, 2, 3 times here already, down into 30s. So let's get a little bit more off if it does retest back down into the 30s, guys. But a big trade for AMC.
Yeah, I'm your Huckleberry, J-Fin. Now low of the day, and I just talked about this with Scales, and good decision to take a third off in front of that low of the day. It's popping a little bit back upside to that 24, but J-Fin is not. It's short sell restricted. If it breaks 8 even, do I like an 8 even break? Sure I do, but we're already short here in front of 9. So got to relieve some pressure and get some off here at 820. Be like an 80-cent win. I can tell you the thing that just busted. Where are you, Plug? Where are you, Plug? So basically every single short looked fantastic for me here. I reload into Plug Power and then get out on a 36 break. So to me, if it's going to roll over here, I almost want to see it test some of these highs. Now, candidly, 36.20 to 36.40 would be that price area, but I'm already up on Plug. I'm already holding multiple short positions here. So the one that's not working and showing a sign of strength, I'm going to bank the profit, stay up on the day on Plug Power, and look for the next trade there. I'm still willing to short this one up to 37, but the market getting a teeny tiny bounce, and I want to make sure that we're holding the better shorts and then being very, very nimble with some of these other ones which aren't going as rapidly. Brendan?
So one thing we can do when the market looks to be bouncing is find the ones that are going green. First, look at XPEV, guys, up 2.5%. So held 35 there very, very nicely. That support from late in the day yesterday. XPEV leading so far, guys.
XPEV, you're saying, huh? Okay, I'm trading NEO, and I was just funny because I was just looking at it randomly here because it is one of my shorts that we do have on there. Okay, so I did get out some more AMC as it went back above 1350, but now we're still holding it, but we did get out of some. I'll show you that in a minute. I like this break on NEO. Like, if this market can go, I actually really like this 4180 break here. So if we can break through 4180, I think that's going to give us something at least for a break. So let's wait to see if this 4180 can break, and then we will use, it won't take a huge hit if it comes back down, but if this breaks, I think we can go long here and then get out if it breaks back down below the 50 area. But I don't want to get elevated on this name yet, because it needs to break that level. So I need to see the futures go with it, and then we'll do some damage on that name. And talk about doing some damage, Nike all the way back down to days low again off this 138 short. This trade was never in jeopardy. The most it went against us was like 50 cents, which is fine because right now, there it goes, Nike. So that's the of the day right now. It could have been FedEx banger to the upside, but we'll hold this Nike one as this is $1.25 in the money. Here goes NEO again to the upside. Watch out for this 4180, guys. I do like it. I'm still short, but I do like this 4180 break. We'll get out of the short here and then take the long. I'm just going to get out right now, actually, 4120 right at VWAP if I can get it, because I do have a feeling that NEO goes upside right now along with this market. So what's up, V?
Hey Sean, Clovis Oncology is the name from the chat. CLVS is up around 40%, guys.
Yeah, up 40%, but also screaming into a previous level here. Look, chop zone central between like 8 and 850, previous high. And you look for these, and that's the first thing I'm going to do when I get any kind of a parabolic move, is go right into what do I see as resistance. I don't see like a halt anytime soon here because it's been rather orderly, at least up until now. But I'm watching that $8 to like 850 range on a bit of a push to the upside there. I didn't see, and when I checked, I hadn't actually seen any news, but it looks like they did have some news on, and I can't pronounce. It begins with an R. That drug. Maybe Brendan can get that one for you guys, because I butcher these names all the time. If it does want to come back in and test VWAP, you're also looking at a pre-market high at 7 even for a bit of a dip. It looks very, very strong here. That's why no rollover when it just turned here. I'd much rather like an 850 area. Brendan?
Yeah, I mentioned it right out of the gate there, guys. Off the bat, ovarian cancer treatment, positive data from CLVS today, guys.
Yeah, I can't say the name of the drug.
Okay, yeah, Nike. I'm just still watching Nike, guys. I told you that we had some kind of targets downside of 136.50, but we've already crushed that. So now Nike continues to make moves to the downside. So this is going to be obviously a decent trade for us as we go here. The next levels of concern, maybe 135. We had some pickups here. I love this stock into my own portfolio. Down here would be fantastic. Like, it's getting very, very close. I might just pull the trigger on this at some point. Okay, new position alert. So we'll hit the sire. No, we'll just hit the hot dogs right now as we take laser through 27 right now. Wow. Okay, that went down as low as 25. Okay, so this 27 is in here from the cheat sheet. We do have that level here, $27 on laser. So that came in. I didn't even realize it went down this far. Again, sometimes we have these areas of concern. So here we go. Laser to the upside, a nice little win for us so far as we get out of our AMC, as the market looking to bust up. We're looking to get out of NEO and then reverse long. There it is. Now we're long NEO, guys. 41.79. Let's see where NEO goes now. Target's 42.20.
Yeah, and speaking of reversals, Plug Power does that break. It breaks that 1280 area, and you can see how big this flush is, and liquidity kind of a concern as well. It goes back up through 13. There's a break that I wanted. I couldn't get it. If it does come back down, I consider this a decent enough sort of failed break that if the market's going to turn, and it's not an endorsement of Lordstown, it's just you do see when you get a recovery like that through an all-time low, 1280, which is that all-time low on this name, I do like to see if you can't defend 13 even area on that break, because those are both key levels. So it's not the first long, actually, well, it is kind of the first real long that we'll have today. If we get a retest, at 13 even on ride, of course, that's Lordstown. And you know, I'm not making an endorsement again about the nature of the short seller report or anything like that. This is pure day trading, playing off those technicals. This is a chop area in the pre-market, and I'll defend VWAP on the way back. Brendan?
Another one with, it's similar to Clovis, actually. They're in the cancer space, MRKR, Marker Therapeutics, so they're treatment-based company coming back in here. Was up significantly after positive news yesterday in the aftermarket, but volume coming in just ahead of $2, it looks like, for MRKR, guys.
Okay, and NEO, so NEO goes up as the market goes up, and then we cleaned up some of this here in the 90s. That was all of our outs, 90, 93, 90s, and so on and so forth. But we still have, guys, like 75%, if not more, of this trade right now. So I still think that we can get to this 42 area, but I don't want to be caught in like, okay, that was the only up move of the day, right? So let's just wait to see. We're back flat here on NEO. I think you got to get rid of this name if it goes below this 41.25 level for NIO. So we'll put an order in there. Not 41.25, 41.50 here. If we do go below that name or that level, I think it's definitely worth, probably getting the majority of them out if it breaks back below 50, because I don't want it to retrace into this level. I'll lose too much money if that does happen. So 41.50 is going to be an out, but here we go. We do have some more offers, 98, 99s. So if we can get back there, that's fantastic. We'll take some of those out. We're trying to make money here, right? I mean, that's the name of the game. So let's see if we could do that and then preserve some capital if it does break back down below this 41.50. But that's NEO. And then you can see Nike, man, the damage that did. That was a great trade. The bottom on Nike, 135.80. Let's put a bid there and just take that out if it does retest that level, guys.
Yeah, and sort of like preserving capital makes sense. And I talked about like maybe if we got that Lordstown, if it came back in a little bit here. But JWN, we talked Nordstrom's when we went to the retail space. At least I talked Nordstrom's when we went to that retail space and looked for a bit of a dip that could maybe hold around. And of course, we had this low here at like 41, just below 41 a few sessions ago. We held that. We bounced a little bit here. So we're going to get to the upside. I like the retracement through 42. Just to give you guys a look on the daily chart, this is what we're mentioning. Multi-day pullback right in and around this previous high, like that 41.70. Wanted to see that hold. Got it here at 42.11. I'd probably dig in one time. I want to see some consolidation. We're still in the bottom end of the range in the futures overall. It's not as if we're screaming anywhere at this particular moment. So at Nordstrom's has only done 400,000 shares worth of volume. I'll show you guys what the level 2 looks like here. It's not a ton of size. It's got like a 15-cent spread. So you want to be patient. I want the next shoe to drop. If it's a down move, I want to see us hold like a 41.50 area before I dig into more shares. Or I want to see consistent bid above 42. And if I see that with like a 5s, 10s, 15 bids that hold up and maybe get stacked up a little bit, show some confidence there, that would be the way that I get into more shares. But I wanted to make sure I dipped in when this retook 42 even.
Okay, so again, we just took some more out here on NIO as, oops, that's not NIO, that's Nike. So again, our bids are right here, 136. It looks like we may get that right here, especially if the market does fall down. Even if it doesn't, we may get that 136 bid here from Nike to close out that position for $2. So that's a big trade there. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you. We did get some more outs, 89s there on a move back up, which is only 10 cents. Again, like the NASDAQ, not that I don't think it can go. I think it is going to go. Our next out's going to be 98 up here, right near 42. 42, and then I do want to see what happens at 42.20. So hopefully that can, spark something here for an aggressive long that we already have at 41.80 here on NEO. A good short initially, breaking back down through 41. We captured our best out there was 40.90, so a couple good outs, and then we did reverse long. So you guys know that we're long on that name, and then we're also long on Laser. So Laser comes back in, we take out a little bit for flat, and then so far it's been 25 cents, 30 cents, and here we go, Laser. Here we go. It's another one. It's a hot dog time today for you guys. Here as Laser continues to go to the upside, we're going to get some out if we can, but for right now, 27.50 is my target, right on the nose. We can get filled there at 27.50. We'll take some out here on Laser. As now NEO, oh man, you tried to get to that 98 there. Stops at literally at 97. That's it. I'm going to stop saying my prices because I seem to be missing by a couple random pennies as per usual. Damn it, like 1 penny.
You're jinxing yourself, man. What you got to do is you got to lay in the weeds in some of these prices. And yes, that pun is horrible because I'm short Sundial. And we talked about that 150. Look, it gave a little flush off the open. Bounced off of what price? 135? Yeah, wow. I mentioned that a couple days in a row, and I think I maybe should have gone long off of this little bounce here. But either way, it comes back to that 150. All kinds of chop through there. It was a bit of support yesterday when we were shorting the name, so I like support turning into resistance. I got 47s. I'm at 48. I'll be at 49. I should already be there. So, I mean, ultimately, I can play this one essentially. 3, 4, 5 penny moves make a lot of sense in something like a Sundial. Like, am I going to get all out in front of a 140? Yeah, on a name like Sundial, for sure I will. If it breaks 150, I'll get out, although I probably would look at that pre-market high at 153 and just say, okay, well, if I'm short with an average price of 48.5, lose literally 1.5 cents because I'd almost double the position size on a bet at 53 can hold. The pre-market top was a good trade the last time through, and I wouldn't hesitate to take it again. But for now, just working this 47, 48, 49. I take the most shares at 49, obviously, on this type of a play. Liquidity not a concern. 40 million shares done as well. Just going to go back over to, if I can, where are you, Skills? There's Skills. I moved my stop here because it wasn't moving as fast as I wanted. Took off some of the weaker shorts that I had that were not screaming for me here in profitability. It'll be overall a solid trade, but it looks like I might have made a temporary top wick there on Skills. Still hang on to JFIN, which is 80 pennies in the money, and SNES and SPCB, which look fantastic as well.
Yeah, I did want to, AMC, it's not doing anything. Let's check in on GameStop right here. NEO, man, it just falls faster than it goes up. So we have been getting some out on NEO, and I just missed. I missed by 1 penny, now it's down in the 60s. It's crazy. Okay, GameStop here today, just quickly, dips down. Wow, that was low. 183, 182 there off the open on GameStop, straight down. Now bouncing a little bit and not really doing much. So we could check in on AMC as well. You're going to see that we missed on AMC. We did go short there, out a little bit, out, and then out on that VWAP break, which was nice because it did save us. But right now, I'm going to look to maybe go short again. Look at this market, man, just puking to the downside. So there it is. We get out of the majority now on that 50 break of our NEO trade. So, man, we tried it, and basically a flat trade for us there on NEO. We're going to be net negative a little bit on it, but that name just, boo, to the downside for you, NEO, as it looks like you want to go to the downside there and maybe continue. So we do have a little bit left. We'll get out the rest if it does break through this VWAP, but right now a negative trade there for NEO. We tried, man. We just got missed on this last, there's 97. I was sitting at 98. That's unbelievable. But there it is. We take the loss on NEO. Maybe worth a bid back in, guys.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with the face slap action here. JFIN. It breaks this 8 even. I actually don't get, and look, I end up getting like a partial fill here. I don't even get the shares that I want on the 8 break. This is why. This is a level 2 on JFIN. It's for an $8 stock, you're seeing 5-6 cent spreads when it opens up. Trust me, when 8 broke, it was a bigger spread than that. I did have that original short and some shares left over at 8.90. This one is absolutely dying here. If it goes to like a 7.50, I'm probably going to get some shares out in front of that. Just want to quickly show you the higher time frame if I can. This is yesterday's little chop zone. Key level on a pullback at 7.50. That's why I want to get some shares out here. If it goes absolutely parabolic the other way, it wouldn't be crazy to see like a 6 to 6.50 retracement. It's 10 o'clock already. That sounds crazy to me. This day is flying by already. Let's go to the big screen for Happening Now with Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at some negative North American markets here. Yeah, right across the entire board here. The S&P 0.4%, the Dow 0.8%. The NASDAQ trying, though. We are seeing some underlying strength coming in both the composite and the 100 here, trying to get back to positive territory. The Russell 0.7% here in Toronto, about 0.25% for the TSX to the downside, similar to what we're seeing right across the board. AMC from the watch list, yeah. Got a big flush here, $14 all the way down to $13.20. We're trying to bounce, trying to hold some of these support areas from yesterday in the afternoon for AMC. I'll show you MVIS. Sean was talking about Luminar. We're back to 16 here for Microvision as well. Really needed to get above 16.5. There was a couple of levels here from yesterday and in the pre-market, 16.5 for Microvision as well. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, just wondering. I'm trying to find a trade in AMC, and I don't really see one unless we start to bid in the mid 13s here and see if we can get something. Because right now I just don't really. It's bouncing around. I'd love to tell you guys I see something, but I do not. Obviously, FedEx is just really not doing much. We did have the long before we got stopped out on that VWAP break. Like this is the kind of stop you get, like 278.50, and you get all the way down to 278 there off that open. So that was not a good one. Okay, so NEO. This is the thing. Bid. I don't know. That must have been a mistake there. We don't mean to go long at 4. Oh, that might have been left there from before. That's why it shows us long again, 41.68. We have small shares on NEO. I'm just looking at this area down here of possible support. I still do like another break. I still like this trade. Call me crazy, but maybe I am. I do like this trade on a breakthrough of NEO if we can get that. So I don't want to leave NEO. I think there's a good opportunity to get long again. Maybe even through this VWAP break. It's just like it can go, man. Like we know NEO can go. It can go both ways, that's for damn sure. But let's try another break through 35 if we can get it, and then we won't hold for too long, man. We'll only give it back down to 41. So we'll see on a 41.30 break right here, right at VWAP, and then other than that, we'll just let this thing fall down, which it looks like it has absolutely no problem doing. There it goes, back at break side. I mean, my initial short, 41.50, still remains to be cash. Should not have even got out of that one, as we've just been loving the short today. We got out of our Nike. That seems to be good. It does go down 135. So right now, only two longs, man, Laser and NEO. But we got to get out of this NEO and then wait to see if it does eventually bounce, which it doesn't look like it wants to, guys.
Yeah, I just hit that, and of course, those are Bitcoins, and as I've already said, we can make a quick change on that one for Sean. SNDL, it does a little flush down. It goes to that almost to that 140 mark. Of course, I would have loved to pick up 48s and 49s, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to take profit off once this hits that 45, hits VWAP, starts to come in. Volume's still fantastic. It's all about the shorts for me so far this morning. And yeah, why not check it out? We're actually not at that 59,000. Maybe we're not going to get to 60,000 on the session. Now, you've said it before, Sean, the NASDAQ cracking those lows. Yeah, if we had put money on it, I would have definitely lost some betting on whether we get to that 60,000 on Bitcoin. But as the market does fall off, it could get ugly. IDRA, and I want to shout out to Brendan. Usually I don't miss anything that's on the small cap names that are on the movers, but this is IDRA Pharmaceuticals, guys. They had a bit of a failure. They had a drug candidate, which I also can't pronounce. It was a partnership with Bristol Myers, and ultimately it failed late stage. To meet endpoints, and this is what happens when you have a smaller biopharm name. You get beat up, and you can't be afraid to short something which is down 60 or 70%. And I feel like this was the missed opportunity. There's that little 930 push. You get the stock that you want to be fading into. It pushes into the open, cannot take out a chop zone from here. This is like a 205 area. Even after the open gives you the same look. Those are the best types of shorts because you can be disciplined with a 207 to 210 stop right here. Take it at 05, take it at 2 even, and then be in the money. Now, it's fine. Sundial short's good. SNES short's good. SPACB short is good. JFIN shorts are good. But this might have been the easiest one because it was already a weak stock. Instead of shorting something which is up like a gap fill, sometimes the best plays are the ones that are already beaten down. So want to make sure we show this one to you. It was on the watch list, so you guys should all have been aware of it. And if you're not, I don't know what to say to you. The only thing I have long here is, of course, this JWN, Nordstrom's, which the volume, are you kidding me? 500,000 shares, still doing nothing. So neither condition has been met for me to get more shares. Either test the low, this previous bottom here, and then bounce back up where I have a bid sitting, or if we can actually catch a bid above 42 even, hold it, and then you can get in on a break of like 25, 42, 25, or maybe on some consolidation. As long as nothing is happening, I'm not doing anything with the stock, just holding what we got.
New position alert. That's what that means. So we'll wait to see here. DraftKings. I'm not. This is going to be slippery. Oh, damn it! I thought we had a chance to go there. I still do think we have a chance to go, but I'm not going to let this one go too far down right now, as we have some DraftKings on board right now, and it's just bouncing around. Come on, market, you can do it. What's up, B?
I read in the pre-market there, Sean. Penn National down $20 since its inclusion into the S&P. So another one from that group moving. UPST here, guys. We talked about this one yesterday a little bit. Got to all-time highs again this morning above that little wick from yesterday. So we just tagged all-time highs again for Upstart, guys.
Stock is nuts, man. Man, should have had that the long time. And Brendan, I know you caught that one for sure, and it's a good one to have. Get in there and buy, Mortimer, buy. No, I mean, Penn here down around like this 111 area. I always look to see, like, you have this previous resistance and then little breakouts. It does have these crazy wicks, and DraftKings is guilty of the same thing for the day trade, making it a bit tricky sometimes, where even if you like it at a 111, it's a much better entry point for a swing or long term, and then on the day trade, you're basically going to have it go through you. So I actually want to see it test maybe 110 instead of 111, and Nordstrom finally makes a move, but it's the wrong way because the market's headed downside here, guys. So I'm doing nothing with my short trades. Basically just going to hold on to everything I have, allow the profit to get taken out. I was waiting for Nordstrom to make a move, and we just broke the low of the day on the NASDAQ, and same thing happening on the ES. If Nordstrom's holds the bottom, then I think it's okay, but I cannot let it go through low of the day here. It's the only long I have on, and it looks like it's going to be a loser. Screaming to the downside, no strength to be had here in Nordstrom's.
No, and unfortunately we got out of our DraftKings there on that little wick break there. I thought I was going to hold this all the way down here. Oh, maybe that's what happened. Maybe it got out on this little break there on that wick down. I don't think we even tested that 69.20, but we get out. We're still holding a little bit of DraftKings. We tested it. I told you that we had a decent amount of shares, so we're okay getting out there. But yeah, 38. Yeah, wow, that's not a good out there. I don't know. I think we just got triggered on a stop order. And again, we do get those questions asked all the time that, how are we getting into these positions? What are we using to get in and whatnot? And unfortunately, because we're, hosting and looking at a bunch of different things, we do use stop orders. So that's okay. I mean, here we go back to the downside. I do want to take some more DraftKings here and then see if we can't defend this 69 a bit instead of just trying to make it go up. If we can get a nice little downside move on DraftKings, we'll take that. We do have an average in here on our NEO trade, so we'll see if that one can print to the upside as well. Keep going higher on this one, especially if the NASDAQ bounces. We do trying to catch NEO low so that we can ride it back higher. It does go back into the money for us. Look at this, 42.80 long. It went right back up to 41 and then stopped. So if the NASDAQ rebounds, we should be okay. Oh, screw you, DraftKings, as now you go right back to where we thought you'd go in the first place. What's up, Brandon?
All of these NFT stocks starting to go here. This Wise Key, remember from yesterday, we were talking about that, just popped up right through 13. So we're back to these pre-market highs on W Key. SINO, another one just popping up on volume, guys.
And you're going to have to pry from my cold dead hands, JFIN. Or it could break 850, I suppose. But I just reloaded into JFIN. I want to try to pick some more shares up in the 20 to 25 range. It's got a bit of a spread, and I feel like one of the things that makes a little bit of sense, let me show you guys level 2 here. It makes a little more sense to get into position is like, it got up. I was trying to get in on in front of 830, and then I saw a bid at 822, and it's just easier to try and throw the liquidity down around that bid and then see if you can get the fill, as opposed to messing around with a lot of these dark pools, dark orders that are actually getting the fills, and some of this size, which is illegitimate at times, meaning it's going to get thrown in there and then it's just going to pull and it's not there for you. Brennan mentioned that W key. Of course, what am I even talking here? The wrong level, wrong. Of course, I put it wrong in my quote board because that's what always happens. It's on the NASDAQ. W key here. I always like these fades into previous levels, and you get a pre-market top here, but I'd much rather it test 14. Personally,
God.
That's why I was sort of waiting for this one to test those highs. I had it on my list as a day 2 type of play, and man, day 2 plays are fantastic. Tell me that's not DraftKings.
Oh, yeah, it's DraftKings because Puke City right there. That's okay. We'll still take it upside. I mean, we should be able to make money on this anyways. But look at this, man. We called this DraftKings trade. We got hit out there on these wicks, and that's going to happen, and that's fine. It's a bad trade. I put the order in, and I got taken out. So that's my fault there. But look at DraftKings now. Hell yeah, we'll take it, man. It's 62 cents in the money, so we'll take it. But we won't take this. NEO does drop below. Like, this NASDAQ just needs to go, damn it. Like, I wish, you know what? I'm going over to the Qs, screw this. Okay, we're going to the Qs on the NASDAQ here. I'm going to trade an equity, which is the market here. If we could break back above this 12,720, which on the Qs would be this 310.60, I'm going to go long. I'm not going to take any of these stocks because you just saw DraftKings. We had that one dead to right there and then got wicked out. We had NEO dead to right, got taken out of that one as well. 310.60 here. Let's take a break on Qs. 310, is it 60 or what did I just say there? Yeah, 310.60 on Qs. Let's take that as a break to go long as, yeah, look what I'm talking about here. Look at NEO, like, come on. We missed this on the upside, and then we get taken out there, right there. So we still have some shares on, but damn it, we do not have enough. I'm gonna cancel all these out so that hopefully we can get a little longer, but 310.60, sorry, on the Qs, let's go. Yeah, let's go if a US Steel pops down to like 2160 or so again. I mean, I like this consolidation chop zone that I'm looking at here. 2250 is a bit of the top end of the range. You can see it clear as day on my 15-minute. That's been resistance. It had a great breakout through that price in yesterday's action. Sometimes US Steel is a really good day trading stock. I know it's more of a buy and hold, and that's what always been my take there. But that's a huge miss on a breakout yesterday. So I noticed that. And I want to make sure I don't miss out on opportunities here. And if it does pop down below 22, I'm going to be looking to defend that one almost for certain, as long as we can get some shares. My daily. Not working on that particular name, but either way, this is what we're talking about, a little bit closer look on the 1-minute chart, guys. We're giving some consolidation here. If we can hold that, I like it in front of that lower day. I'll definitely defend 2160 if it gets to that price as well. And JFIN, I did get some of reload, but I want more shares in this. If it retakes 8 even, I'll just take the breakdown on that stock if I can't get it at 820. Okay, so monster winners everywhere, man. Look what happens, man. The Qs come in. Like, I was just talking about it at 310 even, guys. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to take 310.60. Bang, right to 310.60. Like, that, I called this move down here. Why did I not just take it down there? Okay, NEO nicely in the money. Look at DraftKings. Hell yeah, we are going to explode the money because it's a winning trade now. DraftKings up $1. Like, we should have had this whole damn move upside there. Nice little dollar move upside on DraftKings. We do have that play, guys. We do have NEO as well. It's been a mistake, bad trade, but we do have this one now. Let's get some more out here into the 90s. We're long at 56. What a shit show that little drop off was right there. We'll take it out. We'll take some more long through 41 though, as I think this market has a chance to go. Let's go Qs. We just took some out in the 80s. Let's see if we can't just keep on going upside here in the NASDAQ. Hopefully we saw a bottom there. Let's see if it can rally backside. Man, 50 pennies now in the money on laser. Hell yeah. Man, we're making that money finally as we hit the cowbells for a couple nice winners here, Brendo.
All right, another one just resuming trading, guys. OCG was halted there on a volatility halt back through 11. Another one in the NFT group. So this group quickly getting bigger and bigger on the daily basis. That high up there, 1706 from a couple of days ago. So long way to go to get back to that OCG, guys.
OCG. And don't think I didn't see in the chat there the Don Cheadle. I've actually, so by the way, and I want to make sure let me actually find who said that, because it's not the first time, 0 to 10, it's not the first time someone's given me the whole like Don Cheadle look. So I'll take it as a compliment because he's a fantastic actor. OCGs you mentioned, I love halt prices. Guys, 11-11, or maybe 11-11, 11-10 here. That's going to be a key defense for this particular name. I think one of the things about here is if you break down below, I'm going to start to think about fading the plays. But if it can hold 11-11, I'm going to take a quick look because this has been these stocks have been a long play. So the fact that it's going to bounce off that little bottom, as I'm saying, that just got someone to try to break that 25 even. That's me hitting 24s, 11 24s. And I have an obvious stop area that I can play. And it's below, not 11 even. It's literally below that previous halt price at 11.11. So the risk to reward is almost a no-brainer for me here to risk like 15 cents, maybe a little bit of slippage as well on this particular name. So I got into that. I did get some US Steel because I couldn't wait. 22.15. Of course, 22 would have been the better entry price, but the market looked like it was rebounding there, and I didn't want to miss out on US Steel like I did yesterday. I love that name. Got it here, about 15 pennies in the money. I think we can get it back up to that 22.50 area, though.
Okay, here goes the Qs. I mean, thank God. Let's just keep going, guys. Maybe the NASDAQ does want to eventually just keep going up. I'm going to go switch back over and start trading the market a little bit more because look at this big win, man. 40 cents in the money right now. Hit the sirens for Qs. We just got out some, 310, 311s basically right there. Got some out. So big trade there for us on Qs. And look at this one, man. Where is it? It's hockey season? Sure, why not? What up to the Maple Leafs? A nice little dollar win here on DraftKings. Like, you dropped some off there, and I was mad at that, but yeah, turn that frown upside down there, my friend, as we just take a dollar. This is what I'm talking about. That's a 40-cent hit. No, 30-cent hit there. Not even, 30 cents. And then upside now, we just took out some right there. That is 40 cents, and then that is $1.10 there, and still moving. So good little trade happening right there for us. Lasers right now. Laser going to the upside as well with a nice little win for us on that. So you know what? Today's actually been pretty good despite FedEx off the open there. We took a hit early. And again, I'm here to talk about our winners and our losers. And then here's another big winner. So loser on FedEx off the open, a big winner on Nike on the open. And then NEO's been a little bit of a thorn in said side. But right now we're going to take a 41 break as we're just cleaning out some of these longs right now. So NEO's a negative stock, but it's going pretty well for us right now.
And thank you very much, Rocket Doc. I mean, look, it's on the watch list, and I actually had this one written down to be all over this Zkin, ZKIN here, Zkin, Zedkin. I don't know whatever. I know which way I'm supposed to say it, and my wife hates it when I pronounce it the American way when reading to my daughter. But I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I had 1280 as another level here, and that's because of this consolidation that it had in the pre-market. Of course, the highs are at 14 even, but if it tested 13, I want to make sure I had this one here, and I just got into it and just got some more JFIN as well. By the way, guys, Zedkin, it's 13 is an average price. Normally, if I didn't add twice here, if I hadn't already entered twice, I'd probably be adding at that 1280 break. But I'd like this back to 12 even. Certainly not all the way to VWAP, but it's a bit of a strong move here, and of course, it's going to do this to me, guys. So let's see if we can work out. I do this all the time, and I got to get away from it. Size on the bid there at 12, so offer at 1250. So if I see that, I don't want it to get broken. You just saw what happened there. So it flushed down, went in the money for me. I'm talking about the rollover as it happens at that key area. And then you want to make sure you get out, because if that size breaks, it's very likely to retest at least even halfway to your original entry price, which it didn't quite do. So wanted to make sure I got some of that profit out. Now I can sort of throw some bids down in front of 12 even here, which is the rest of my target. I said JFIN as well. This one a little bit easier because I couldn't get more shares off this 820. I showed you what liquidity was like, garbage. But 8 even just broke. I said I'd re-enter on an 8 even break the same way I got in the first time. So like I said, I want to be short this name throughout the rest of the day. It's a bit of a day 2 play. But when they show weakness in the afternoon, some of these gap up plays, don't forget about it on day 2. They can be good ones. It's time for the small cap recap. Let's go to Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. You just heard about it. I'll give you my take. ZKIN, I mentioned right before the open, I was talking about this 11.25 top end of this consolidation that we were in the pre-market. Bottom end about $1 below that, 10.25-ish down to 10. Ends up holding in between that. So if you did try this versus this 10.25, you had to get out above that 11.25. But it failed immediately, so we instantly get right back below that 11.25. It goes all the way through that entire dollar range, giving you an opportunity, but had to be pretty quick. Neil was talking about 1280. I mean, 13. Call it 1280 to 13. There's a bit of a range. Quick scalp on the first test of 13. I'll take it again up there at 14 if we get all the way to 14. For ZKIN, Supercom breaks this 1310 back to the downside right off the bat this morning, all the way down to 220. That was pretty obviously weak. Right off the open. Let's go over to one more real quick. SNES, 310 was the top end of this pivot in the pre-market. This one gets flushed all the way down to 220. So number of opportunities in small cap world, guys. Back to you.
All right. And so here we go. NEO, guys. I mean, finally, rain the money down a little bit here as NEO. Okay, let's get out now some more as we go up to 24. Okay, NEO, we are friends again as NEO just, yes, sir. I mean, look at this, guys. $1 winner now on the Qs. Okay, I think I found something new, and that's always I mean, if I start trading the futures, guys, yeah, this could get real spicy real quick. Okay, so 31.50 coming to the upside. You know, just trying to trade some new styles for you. And I just got fed up trading some of these equities. So let's just put our money where our mouth is and start trading some of the NASDAQ. So bang, a smooth little dollar as the chickens go flying everywhere right now on this trade. We'll get some out there, 56. Yeah, let's just take that dollar if we can. And then NEO, Randy's going to be coming with some thoughts here on the electric space and on cars very, very soon at 11 o'clock. I see some QuantumScape coming through as well for that segment, so that's really exciting. But yes, sir, NEO, man, I've made back a lot of money in the last 30 minutes, or let's call it 10 minutes on this move back up. And sometimes it's nice to be a bull, but you got to find the right stocks at the right time. Like, look at this DraftKings move. Bang to the upside. We got that one. That's still on board. Look at Laser. That's $1 in the money right now. Neo's 40 cents in the money and making moves, man. We'll see about taking out the highs as well. And then there's Q's, a smooth dollar now as we go right back up to VWAP. That's exactly what we're talking about. Stick with your boy, and there'll be lots more sirens coming, guys.
I'll let the siren go. I'll bring you to, look, if the market's going to come back up, US Steel, last time it popped, it stalled at that 2250, talked about that. I took some out here at 2240. So we're going to get I wanted it at 22 even, guys, so I had to chase it up here to 2215. So I thought we'd get like a 50-cent winner up here. It'll end up being 35 for the first leg of the trade. If we break through, I like us all the way to 23. If the market is going to be to the upside, of course, it has been coming down. That's been the nature of the game. So we've been making sure we're playing some of these shorts. That Zedkin, by the way, I took more shares out when it failed again at 12, just below that 1250. So breaks 1250, fails again. I take some more out of 1240, which I did the first time. This is actually, and again, this is actually going to be my stop to get out. If it breaks that high of the day, and this is actually poorly placed, I don't even like where that order is. So this is going to be the stop through the high of the day if we do get through a Zkin. And why? Because if it tests 14. I'm not holding a short, which is basically at 1304, all the way to 14 even. I'd get out. I'd re-enter the trade if it fails at the high of the day. No reason to hold it against me at whole dollar. Brendo?
Petco from a couple of days ago, earnings name just popping up here on volume scanner, guys. Woof, WOOF, up 5%, just back to 2380, guys, for WOOF.
Yeah, let's go, Petco. Let's go. Let's go, Neo. Let's go. We just tweeted that out also on our Qs trade, guys. Like, thank you for the love in the chat. I mean, that's what matters. What matters is cash. And thank God we got some of this back and made a lot back on our day today. So we're just cruising right now. The Qs could not have been a better time for that call. We are now $1.35 in the money on this Qs trade, guys. Bang, that rate to the upside. Hell yeah. Goes right to my number one stock. Hey. What a surprise. There on the Qs, right to number one. And I thought I had this, and I was like, why is Ford not going? Why is Ford not going? When it went down here, I thought I put a 75 break trade in, and I didn't. So my mistake on that one. And I go back and I was like, let's check out on Ford, because Ford is right here. It's like right on my list there. And you got to look at, doesn't matter. You can check, that's on Twitter. Ford was right on my list. I loved Ford for any kind of rebound play. I really liked the auto space here, and I love Ford. So that was a miss. I thought I put this in for this break, like this 75 break when we were down here. Even a 70 break would have been huge. But let's let Ford see if it can come back into the 1275 area. Let me know if that does happen again, guys, because I definitely do not want to miss that. I think that that's a fantastic trade there. Neo, a little weak now. Like, the market's still going up, and Neo just tips out a little bit. This is where we got out last little bit, 42s. We still are in this, so let's cash out a little bit more as Valeria stretching beside me now, getting ready for the weekend. Valeria, you can't go clubbing as nothing is open, Valeria, so don't stretch too much. I don't know how active this weekend will be. We'll go to Valeria in a couple minutes and see what her weekend looks like soon, and you guys can see what she does for fun. Okay, Neo, right back to the high side. Bring down the cash as Neo, bang! Big trade alert for Neo here, guys. Okay, that was fast. What's up, V?
Yeah, Sean, when lockdown is over, I'm usually much more fun, but for now I'm just basically sleep and see my friends, drink some wine. And by the way, guys, don't forget to hit thumbs up. We already passed 10 o'clock and didn't get even 2,000 of likes. Yes, we deserve
Larry just invited us to drink wine with her.
Did someone say wine?
And we're not getting the likes. Okay, here, this is enough is enough. Okay, so you just heard Valeria's plans. That sounds like fun. If you're a fan of Valeria and her drinking wine, let's get this going, man. 2.2K? That needs to be to 3K like ASAP, guys. What a big show it's been. I've switched up my game. I'm in the futures game now. And you know that's going to be hopefully real spicy. Look at these trades I have on. Let's just slow the hell down and regroup. Donkey Kong, $1.50 in the money right now. Laser, $1.10 in the money right now. Neo, screw you, but 30 cents in the money right now. This is my worst stock today. Actually, FedEx on that break, but whatever. And then Q's, $1.50 in the money right now. So 4 positions, of which 3 of them are plus $1.50. Neil, hard to beat that, buddy.
You gotta love it when the stocks reverse, and you gotta have an idea of like what your bias is gonna be, which was to the short side. We talked about that all morning long. Hang on to the shorts when they work into some long positions. Of course, I like the U.S. deal. Daryl, big shout out to you because I talked about like Penn, and of course I went to other names. Zedkin made a move, guys, and I wanted to make sure I traded that. A couple other stocks, U.S. Steel I got into as well. But of course, it's a fantastic look. We can talk about what we see all the time, but you can't get every single trade. You see how many names are already on my board. I'm not going to get into every single thing that I think is a good setup. But what we are going to show you, and I promise you're probably not going to see this elsewhere, and I'll dig into why sometimes my stop orders will show and sometimes they will not. Those are 2 different types of stop orders that we can utilize at Day Trade the World. But I showed you live. Sitting in a short position, exactly where my stop order was. The run comes to the upside. If I was still in it, would I be back at the money? Sure, but I showed you my stop. It triggered live here for you guys for you to be able to see. I thought it would break this and maybe test all the way up to that 14, and that would have been my entry point. I can be wrong about that. I can still be up on the stock, but that was a plan of action. I told you what I was going to do. You saw it happen in real time. That's what it's all about for us, guys. It's just, what are we seeing live? What is level 2 looking like? What does the imbalance locator look like? What is our decision-making process for getting in and out? Process, trust the process. Even if it doesn't work for Philly, it's going to work for you guys when you trade. Apologies.
It's working for Philly, man. I think Philly, what are they, in first place or something in the East?
Yeah, talk to me when that transfers into the playoffs, Sean. That's all I'm going to say for Philly.
Yeah. I mean,
great young players, though.
In my opinion, Joel Embiid right now number 3 in the MVP race. So we'll wait to see what Joel Embiid can do. He got to stay healthy, big man. Anybody there that's watching the NBA knows that Joel Embiid. I mean, the guy's shooting 43% from 3. Like, well, that's crazy. But anyways, Neil's right. We got to wait. It only means anything in what you do in the playoffs in any sport, right? Unless you're a New York Yankee there where you make the playoffs like every year. What up to Derek Jeter? That guy's pure pimp. Who are we looking at now? Brendan, what's up, buddy?
MOGO, a name that's been kind of popping up every once in a while over the past few days. Mogo Wireless Company, 11% here today. Just ripped through $11 straight to $11.50 on decent volume. It's worth mentioning for MOGO looking strong so far today. Yeah, it's 10:30. That means there's an hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss V is watching what's going on over there. What's up, V?
Hey Brandon, European markets are negative as France has imposed a fresh regional lockdown. Oil stocks also drop after crude prices fell on the fears of those new lockdowns, with BP trading in London down more than 2%. Back to you.
Yeah, energy stocks have not had a pleasant week, guys. 7% for the group in the U.S., that is, on the week, guys.
Oh my God, I had that 56.50 level on XOM, but it doesn't look like it did too much there. Okay, debating getting this last little piece of laser out. We are long here. It's $1.20 in the money. I'm going to get it out if it breaks back below 28. Like, let's just give it to this level here. 27.96 or so laser. Let's give it down here, actually. 27.90 break. So it breaks through 27.90. We'll take 90 plus cents on laser there. And right now it's in the money, $1.20, but we got to wait for it now. NEO still moving up. DraftKings still moving up. Like, it's just been a great bounce off the bottom. And we've had some huge trades, man. They're still all well in the money as the market continues to run up. The name that I talked about the last couple days, the name that I've been buying hand over fist, if you guys have been watching this, I've been telling you Square, AMD, and Facebook were all names that we've been buying on dips here. And I told you Facebook was breaking out, in my opinion anyways. It doesn't look like a huge breakout, but I think we can get above right now. It looks like we're rocking and rolling here as Facebook up that 3.5% today, and the market just loving life here today so far. Even though we're still down, the NASDAQ with a beautiful comeback here to the upside. So yeah, everything working out nicely now. I got to go put this trade in for laser because it might break this 27.90.
Yeah, the NASDAQ basically right at even on the session. Now the market's going to pop up, so that's going to give me another entry into sundown. This is why, look, we'll tell you when we're waiting around for a particular price area. I've basically been sitting on these levels earlier on in the session. When it came back up, I was like, okay, let's change my order type, and this is why I knew order at 48, because I'm willing to pay to get that fill. So I sort of moved it to something that'll do that. And then I just said, I can't get it. Let me get a midpoint. I was able to get 47.5 on the midpoint there. And again, this is an advantage of day trade the world. If you don't have access to midpoints, It is difficult to trade something like a sundial if you're not going to have access to dark pools, reverse model gateways where you pay to add liquidity and get paid to remove liquidity. And it's the same process. If it goes down to 45, I have bids all the way down. Literally the same thing as before. The only change is I was a little bit more aggressive when it got up here, knowing that I didn't get 48s and 49s the first time. I just was able to take some midpoints there to be able to get in. I said I'd go to JFIN. I said I'd continue to short any pops. It's more of a consolidation this time, but like as it rolls over, all I gotta do is flip to the stock and it just takes me some more shares out in front of 775. I got bids out in front of 760, which is low of the day, but I've been short this one at the open in front of 9 even, on the break of $8, got some out at 760, reloaded at 825, and I just wanna be to the south side of this trade. As long as day 2 is gonna be sell day on JFIN, you can see what happened. It made the parabolic move. You have to halt down, and then it holds the line at 1150, holds that line in the pre-market, and then this 9 even was that key price. I liked it on the pop into it. Gotta love it as long as it holds below that 9, and love it basically all the way down to this. Like guys, at 10 o'clock it halted upside right at like 740, and then dipped into that price. So I'll take a bunch of shares out in front of that 740 and then look to see if it's not another trade breaking through 740 on JFIN, which has been fantastic for me. Nordstrom's, on the other hand, is still not either broken up or even stopped me out. So the stocks don't get sleepier than Nordstrom. Everything else is fantastic except for Nordstrom's. Yuck.
Yeah, it's always about picking the right names. DraftKings coming back down here. We're going to get out of this one as well. I mean, look, the market, we've crushed it on the way back up. I told you we made back like everything. So very, very good move on the way back in. Now you have the 70, 90. The market just won't keep on going up every day. I mean, I hope it does, or goes down as long as you're short. But we do have to make sure that we capture some of these profits. So just to give you guys a little bit of an update, 311.50 right here, right where VWAP is, we're going to get out of Qs, which may come right now. And then, I mean, what a big trade. Even if we get out right now, it's $1 winner, guys. So that was a big trade for us there in the Qs. Here we go. We might get out right soon if that breaks. So that's just an update there. And then DraftKings still wants to work, but I want to give it back down to these lows here, 70.90 on DraftKings. If it breaks that, then we will take our $1.30 winner. Like we have so much in the money right now. There it goes. So Qs out. My number one stock on the day now officially goes the triple Qs as the NASDAQ 100. We take that trade right here at the bottom. We get out. I mean, it went in the money so fast that we just took it out. On a day where we're thinking short, you got to take it out when it starts going up. It breaks through VWAP. We let it go. We get out another 10%. Basically, there's 9 or 10 of these in here. Each one of these is 10% out. So it's a good day for me today. But here comes DraftKings falling back down. I got to get that order out, guys.
Sorry, you just got short into a CLVS here. It fell off 850. We talked about this on the way upside, guys. Wanted to see it roll over, not at 8, but actually at 850. Then don't get it on this consolidation at 8 even. Missed that opportunity on the flush down. Then it bases out here at 730 below VWAP. When that breaks, I initiate a position here. Just got in. What's my price here? 28s to the short side. If it consolidates between here and like that 760 range, I can work into the position with a stop in and around that 760. I like an area. I favor an area stop here to allow to see if a bid goes up. I'm willing to pay an extra 5 or 10 cents if I can, just because this name could flush all the way back into like a 650 where there was some chop off the open. Brendan?
This Leaf, guys, we were mentioning this one, I think it was 2 days ago, popped up on Positive News online media company, just popping up here again. Look at the volume coming into Leaf through $8, got all the way up there to 850, coming back in. Going to check on Leaf, guys.
You're gonna check on Leaf. Okay. Look at this again, guys. Like it comes right back down to my spot. I got to stop just saying these spots. Right back down and then right back up. But that's okay. We capture our profits. Both of those are $1 winners on DraftKings, and now it goes back up. I mean, we just had a small piece left, but missed opportunity as the market fades right back in. We did get some. Oops, is that Neo? No, that's Nike. Where is Nike now? Okay, Nike bounces back. Pretty happy. Whoa, hello Nike, all the way back to 138 and change. That would have been a nice short opportunity there. Maybe Nike's getting its wings here. Let's do a little bit more work on Nike maybe and see if we can't find something. A good opportunity now, Neo, like this was a big trade for me there and out. That's why we were celebrating it, man. We did put on our big boy pants and took a trade there. And if you ever see me talk about that, I mean, I told you guys so far, every single time I'm putting on shares in an attempt to make cash, I'm letting you guys know when we put on some big time shares So that was a big time trade. As now it goes back to the upside. So I guess now everything's ripping. Q's actually right back to where we were. So we'll have to look at that. Laser still marching on, and NEO now a 70-cent winner. So yeah, the cash cow's back on NEO. Let's take off one more piece upside and then hold the rest. Big candle there for NIO, guys.
Yeah, speaking of bounces back, and we talked about Lordstown here, it actually comes back, tests that 12. Remember, 1280 was, of course, the key price. It breaks 13, comes back down below 1280, makes the bust to the upside. Once it did that, I like that 1280 to 13 range. I want to see it bounce. It bounces off of 85. I say, okay, well, I'll defend 85 the second time through. I got long right at 85. Now here, I don't want, because it's an overall weak name, I favor a tight stop, which is why my stop is literally at 1280 in this particular case. And I'm using here a stop. I don't care. It's any print that comes off below because this is a fast mover. I don't want the tape. I don't want to wait for like the tape to get there. I want to make sure it's an actual print below that 85. If it goes up towards this top end of the range, this like 13.10, I would take some shares off and then see if it can recover. Positive on session is at 13 even, so it's just teetering back and forth between positive and negative. If it works in this range, I'll scalp it, no problem. I don't mind doing that, guys. We'll get my order in at the top end at 13.10 and then see if we can't work this one a little bit. Sundial is up to 65 million in volume. Not crazy, but same story here, guys. Took some out at 45, got my bids down 44, 43, 42, just like last time. And I'm only shorting right in front of that 50 level. Brendan?
Super League Gaming, guys. We had earnings on this one going back to earlier in the week. SLGG, better than expected earnings. Just broke 1050 there, which is 52-week highs for SLGG.
Okay, so we're at, SLG, yeah, Super League Gaming. We've traded that one. We traded that one actually pretty well. I'll have to look back at that. Okay, so like a mistake on DraftKings, because look where the hell this thing is right now. Wow, like, man, did we pick that bottom right there and then don't have it on. So it's ridiculous. Okay, NEO 80 cents in the money still. And then I'm guessing my Q's trade would be way bigger now, and so that's good. And then Ford, at least we got back into some Ford now, not back in, we waited for it. I was thinking it could dip down again, but it comes back down in the 80s, and we just mark it in on that one. 83, 83.50, I believe, 84. Now you're 8 to 88, so a nice little 4-cent win, not huge, but let's see if we can get back up here. We'll drop it. If it get out at 90, we'll get out of half if we can take a 90 print. Look at this market, man. We are on fire right now, heading to the upside.
Yeah, and wow, I guess a rising tide tends to lift all ships, even ones that have stunk so far. I mean, finally Nordstrom's making a test of the high of the day. Now, normally, if it's this type of a trade where I'm working in a position, and again, this is a better look on a higher time frame because it was never meant to be a scalp. It's just been so, lazy and weak. So I want it in this top end range. You can see the spread and the volume are absolute trash. And I'd usually be waiting for the top end in the pre-market for like 43, but I see this resistance point, yesterday's low at 42.20, and it just makes a heck of a lot of sense to see if we can't get some shares out in front of it, guys. So I'm going to sit here. It's right around my original entry price. If this stock was in this little bounce back showing more signs of strength, it'd be easier to hold on to it. But how many times have I complained about everything else working and Nordstrom's not doing anything? So I will lighten the load if I can take a small win and lighten the position on this little push to the upside. I still have the chance that this can break through 43 and make that retest that we're looking for. We talked about the multi-day pullback, getting back to this gap end range and holding it. That's what's happened here. So I like the bounce idea, but the volume not gigantic, the volatility not huge on Nordstrom's relative to some other names that are moving. So even if I do win, it does make sense based on what I've seen here to take some profit off. And that way, if it retraces to the bottom, I can always load back in front of 41.50, which looks a heck of a lot better.
Yes, sir. And there's nothing, this is what we do, guys. Reloading, getting into different opportunities, getting into different names. We take off some Ford at 89 there. We didn't wait exactly for 90, but we are going to. There it comes. We do have an offer at 90 as well. So hopefully this can keep on marching to the beat of its own drum a little bit and keep going upside here. 94, the ultimate target. I'll take it out if we get into these areas. But 90 just missed. Here we go. There we go. Let's wait. We're on an invert. We missed it. I was going to say we're on an inverted gateway there to get filled, but we don't get filled. So let's wait to see if 90 can come through. Other than that, man, laser still that $1.50 in the money. Look at this right here, 27. You can't get it any better. Right in the middle there, LAZR 27. Oh, I'll put the link again. If you guys want to follow me every day, I'll try to put up the sticky note. I don't want to do it every day, but maybe I will. It seems like it's a very, very popular thing. I'm going to put the note right there for you guys to notice the sticky note wins, because there it is, laser right to the upside, $1.75 now in the money. money, and damn, we're making money today. Bye-bye, Neo. Boom! That was a big one for us, man. This 41 break, just wish we still had the majority on, but we don't. We clean it all up here for an embarrassing 30 cents, and now we just rip to the high side. Let's just keep going, man. This has been what was a slow day for me, turning out to be quite a monster. Let's go, Brendo.
Yeah, all about being in the right place at the right time today so far. Let's have a look at the S&P 500 and see what's leading. We are negative still, but only just 0.2% right now. It's about the banks providing most of the weakness, the overall financial sector, the entire thing in the red. And again, it's the individual banks, every single name here to the downside today. JP Morgan standing out there, 3.8%. Bank of America, 3.3%. Wells Fargo there, 3% as well. You get the idea. There's a few here in the diversified financials group that are in positive territory, but the financials definitely leading to the downside. This is FedEx, 5.8%. UPS being dragged along to the upside with it, 2% now for UPS. Some of the airlines here as well trying to get positive, but outside of those two, the entire industrial sector also in negative territory, worth noting. Some positivity from the consumer discretionary retail names we mentioned in the pre-market, very strong on the reopening side of things. Etsy's up 5% today. DG, there's BBY, Targets here, Lowe's, Pool, Tasco, you can take your pick. 1.3% for TSCO. There's Ford, 3.2% for Ford. We talked about that as well in the pre-market. Tesla right beside it though, to the downside. 2% for Tesla in negative territory. Visa and MasterCard here in the tech group leading to the downside, 2+% for both. Western Digital's up 3.5%. We'll have a look at that maybe. Material stocks, want to talk about that, and real estate, both in the red as well. So bit of a mixed board. We are basically offset entirely, only 0.3% to the downside. Guys, back over to you.
So I want to give an idea here of, you're going to see a lot of positions on my board here, guys, but I'm going to go to like CLVS. Some of these names, now CLVS, I've worked into this one. You can see my stop order is actually here. You're going to see a trigger right there. Going to get out of this one. And I'm monitoring that one a little bit closer because that's one that I actually was actively trading a little bit more. Now, if I come to, you'll see SPCB on my list as well. This particular name, I'm literally sitting deep in the money. I've already taken out most of this trade in front of this little dip level here, and I wanted to see it get down to 215. This is actually my bid, which, you know, as I manage the order, I should get away from it because it bounced off that 215 when it got there. So obviously picked a good one there for a price level. It's just working in the money. So I don't have to worry about SPCB. I don't have to monitor that position too much. It's the same thing with that Nordstrom's, right? Like, once it actually starts to go in the money for me here, very similar to Ride. I've taken some profit off. I have my stop order working for me. It's not going too rapidly. If you have your levels, if you know what you're looking for, then you can sort of sit back, actively trade something else while these work in the money. I got the dip into Ride. We're able to get that out for a quick 25-cent scalp. Now I'm holding for a top-end break to see if this can't fill. I mean, it's not necessarily a gap down, but they did hit that all-time low, failed to press through. And now if it can come back through this 13 to 1320 area, there's just a heck of a lot of room for a retracement here. Again, not endorsement necessarily of the company or a comment on the short seller report. It's just a day trade, guys, and there's definitely room to 14 even. But I have to play that range when I see 1280 to 1315 over and over again. I'll scalp some if I can reload in front of 1315. Fantastic. Risk to reward works for me. And if it goes to 14, I'll be all out there.
And there it is, man. The money bags that continue to be forward. I just can't believe I'm not long right there. That's crazy. Okay, laser still high side. So we're out of almost all of Ford here. 20, 40, 60, 80, and we only have 20% left. So my math is wrong, but we only have 20% left of Ford. And I'm going to wait until about. It's not a huge trade. I don't expect Ford to be moving that much. I mean, even in the last hour, it's moved 15 cents, right? So, or last 2 hours. So let's wait to see here. What time is it? No, last hour. Can't be 2 hours. 12.92 right now. We can get anything like that. I'll be super, super happy with that trade. Neo, I mean, it just keeps on ripping high. And we've been right on this one today. Short there, long out. That was wrong. In, out, take the long, and now we have a little bit left. This is a good spot to get out, but I'm just holding it so that I can, punch myself in the face more, so I can realize that I did have a lot of shares, and now I have a little. So unfortunately on Neo, glad that you guys are with us, and glad that we were able to get unplugged today on Neo, but for right now, still not doing too much. Stay hydrated. young fellows. We got to keep that going here today. We're back from the dead, man. We made a hell of a lot of money back today, so we're super, super happy. We're trading everything. We're also into some ETHE grayscale product here. We traded some Ether to the long side, still have some of this. And then we've also been talking Palantir. Not talking Palantir today, but we did get some bids and some outs. Flat on this today, but look where it defended, man. It defended that 23 level again and then makes the move to the upside. But watch the NASDAQ fall down. This thing will fall like a rock. We understand that for sure as well. But big trades today and really happy you guys are joining us. I can't be more pleased with the way the second half of my day has gone.
Yeah, definitely pleased with this session. It's been a good one. I got the level 2 up because sometimes we have stop orders, like if 50 breaks where I'm going to get out at like 51. But with a sundial trade, you're going to see I did get the full position in, so 48.5 is my average price now. But I'm getting out on 50 in that situation. I'm not paying the extra penny. Where if I'm managing multiple positions, maybe I throw a stop order out there, and then suddenly at 51 prints, I'm getting 51 or 52. If 50 is my level, I can just get right out at 50 even. Now, if it holds, I'm going to go back to the same plan. The only difference is I'll probably start covering, and I should at around, and I don't know why I have a bid. I should have a bid at 47 right now, guys. So I'm going to throw a bid at 47 just to make sure that I am covering some of that there as well. Because now that I've actually finally gotten prints at 49.5, right in front of 50, where I wanted to get into the full size. That's what it's all about. I still have my bids all the way down, but I have a dedicated level 2 up. There is no. I don't use a stop order necessarily on sundial very often. Almost never. I never say never because that's a ridiculous thing to do. But I'm going to get out at 150, so I'm literally risking 1.5 cents plus the fees I'm going to pay to trade, which isn't a heck of a lot at Day Trade the World. And to hit that one, my routing key is going to do a good job of paying me on some of those fills, and then the rest we'll have to remove liquidity and pay the rebate there. JFIN right back to low of the day, 760. I get some more shares out there. I need this one to break. I think I can get to 7 even, but until it does, I'll rinse and repeat, short the pops. Hold this short almost all day long. We'll see if we can't hold it all day long. But for now, let's go to Miss V at the big screen.
Hey Neil, chat talks about Lizzie. Stock is moving upside and trading on a high volume. Back to you.
Lizzie? Okay, I'm going to add that one to my board here, guys. I can't promise I will. I'm in more positions than I normally would, so jumping into something new isn't going to be like the front of my mind here, guys. But we were looking at Lizzie earlier on in the week, and where's my mouse? There it is. We're looking at this name earlier in the week, so it's not as if there's zero familiarity with this particular name. The first thing that's going to jump out to the page for me when you get the multi-day retracements is previous resistance, 11 even. This is where it just dipped off of. So the first look here would be, can you make a bit of a bull play? Obviously, if it holds below at 11 even, that's sort of a short. And it's a similar setup to that JFIN. Like, this might be a better short. I guess it's Friday. So like next week, if it's below that 11 even, showing some weakness after that post breakout. But until then, you're almost playing this to the long side, bouncing off it, which does give you a bit of a look here on like a 12-20 break, but that's a scalp all day into like the 40s and 50s. And then if it ever got back into like the 14 range, I'd be hunting for a short on that. The only problem is it's going to be nearly impossible for me to be active in this, still trading, still looking at that CLVS, which is popping to the upside. I want to take a second crack at that. That's my losing stock of the day, of course, is going to be that CLVS. I'm not done with it. That's in front of my mind. But Lizzie, I'd be bullish in front of that 11 even and wouldn't turn bear until either it holds below that or it gives me a pop into 14. I'd probably short that all day. You guys, on the other hand, are going over to Brendan for Money Talks.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Let's have a look at what is happening so far. Well, I put up the US dollar index, DXY, over here because I wanted to show you this 92. This is a daily chart. So going back to a couple of months back as far as data here down in this consolidation, we've been talking about 90, if you remember, was the bottom. There was support around 90. We did dip below it a couple of times, but back to 92 and even breaking out a little bit this morning on the US dollar. So negativity on most of these today, the euro included, down 0.3%. Our Canadian dollar back below 80 once again, 79.8 for the CAD. British pound as well, 0.6% to the downside, 138. So we've had this two-day move in the overall strength of the US dollar following the Fed decision, if you remember, going back to earlier in the week. Turkish lira, look at that, 1.1%. to the downside. Australia and New Zealand also both in the red. Cryptos are all positive so far, 2% for Bitcoin, 58,600 right now. Important levels. We're getting up into that kind of 5960 resistance from the last time we were here. So important levels for Bitcoin, 1,815 for Ethereum, up 2.3%. Actually leading today, guys. ETH, back to you.
Yeah, I know all about ETH leading the way here. And I don't know, guys, I can't seem to, my eyes are hurting here. Did I miss some opportunities here on DraftKings or what? Long 69.60. It just touched $72 there, guys. So we were able to take out a couple dollars on the trade there, but it does touch high side. And then it looked like it was going to break, so I went short. So now let's see what kind of a mistake I can make on this one. I'm going to get out if it does break again above the day high. Obviously, it's up 7%. I don't normally short names that are up so high. It's just this was a monster move, a monster break higher. It could still easily take this high out. So we're just going to give this one that 40 cents right now. The spread is juicy when it gets moving, which is why I think I got into that pretty quickly. And now we'll just wait to see. I think a retracement back here makes sense because it's a strong, there we go. Yeah, the NASDAQ still. We're probably going to get taken out on the high side now, which is fine. I tried it and it'll get stepped on here, but that's okay. We did try it, and I just want to give a little target there that our out will be this 72.25 break on the high side of DraftKings. It looks like it'll go as the market just continues to go upside as well. Out of some Neo there, that was a mistake at 42. That continues to go higher. Wow, everything ripping, man. Good thing we still have some laser. This day was really saved by some of these trades, guys.
Yeah, and I'll show you, like, in the money now $1, and I took some profit on Nordstrom's because it finally started to go. It's up at like 42.70. That's where I got the last leg out. But remember I said I'm not going to get 51 or 52. I'm going to get out at 50 on sundial. That's why I was literally staring at level 2 and not looking at you guys in the camera, so I can make sure I got that execution and not pay an extra couple of cents. Pre-market high, of course, is at 53, where it looks like it wants to turn here. And do I want back into the trade? If it's going to hold it, yeah, I'll start it if I can't get like a midpoint or like a 51 even. I'll try like 51s if I can get it here. 51s, 52s, because if it didn't break to that high at 53, it was a bit of a pivot in the afternoon yesterday. I wanted to be able to re-enter at a better price. You know what? I'll be more patient. I actually like 51.5 and 52s a little bit more than just jumping in at 51 even. But that's the idea. Like, it matters a cent or two on something like a sundial if you're going to be actively trading it. So I was about to just take 51s. I'm going to go away from that. Wait at 52. It feels like a better play to me. What would have been a fantastic one, and again, that's fine. U.S. Steel looks pretty good. Nordstrom is actually finally working to the long side. Also have Lordstown to the long side, which is working. But shout out, I think it was Daryl that actually got that pen. What a turnaround, guys. It's actually heading right into this like 120-ish range from yesterday's action, where I would anticipate some weakness if it ever got to that price for a bit of a rollover, unless we're screaming in the market, which we're not really screaming yet. We're positive here, but it's not like it's going absolute gangbusters to the upside. So Penn could run into some chop here around like, I guess it's more like a 119.50 than it is a 120, but it was a great play off the bottom. I'm glad someone got it here. I'm in more names than normal on this session, and thankfully so, because everything's sort of working out for me here. And finally, Nordstrom's. I complain, and now the one went $1 in the money. Brendo?
I pointed these out during the sector watch there. Visa and MasterCard, I'm speaking of in the tech sector. Not sure why they're in the tech sector, but 3% here for Visa. Apparently the Justice Department looking into some curious things when it comes to Visa. MasterCard as well. MA guys also being dragged down on that.
Yeah.
Should have taken.
Look, financials today, not great, but not horrible. There's DraftKings. I told you we'd get out. We got back in here. I think the NASDAQ may be tippy here, so let's wait to see. Yeah, shout out to Daryl there, but as you guys know, we had DraftKings as well on the long side. So good shout out there, Daryl. Thank you for taking those trades with us for sure. And yeah, hopefully you held a little longer than I did, that's for sure, because this is a $3 winner right there. So congratulations, Daryl, for following, and big trade. We have you on the show next week, so that should be exciting. Okay, laser still going right now. Ether not doing a whole hell of a lot. You did bring that to our attention, though, Brendan. It's moving a little bit, so that's been a good little trade for us so far today. And then I want to go back to Ford as, oh, we got out of Ford there. Where did Ford go? Oops, 4.NY. Did it go to 90s there? Did I get printed? Yes, I did. We got out at 93. Look at this long bang out, and then there it is again. So just another winner. Oh yeah, DraftKings. You know, F you again to DraftKings, as now it goes downside. That's okay. We put some bids out here. We talked about the NASDAQ possibly rolling over a bit. So let's make sure that we get some out here on DraftKings, as there it is, man. The win comes again for us finally on DraftKings to the short side. So a nice little trade there, making some of that money that we lost on that initial short, takes them out. We did re-short back upside. Not as many shares, so it's not the big win that we wanted, but I think we can definitely retrace back down to 71.50. Let's put a bid there in case it does slide back down to the downside, guys.
And speaking of sliding to the downside, you saw me all morning long holding on to SPCB. I had a bid down at like 215. It actually touches this low right here and it runs away from it. It then looked like it was a little bit strong. I had it on a level 2 over here, and it was like, you know what am I sitting in this trade for? Holding on to 10% of it. It looked like it was making a bounce. Am I going to give it all the way back to like 270? No. So I just take it off here at 233. It's starting to creep back up. I would play this if it wanted to fade at like 255, 260, in closer to VWAP, but might as well take the profit. Work into it if it gives me a better price a little bit later on in the session. I'm still holding US Steel here. It did break through that 2250 area, but has not quite gotten to this little hump here, right around that 23 even. So I'd like to get 2285 to 90 for the rest of these out for like a 70, 60, 65, 70, 75 cent winner, something in that range. I don't have an order out. I want to see it trade into this 23 and then make a bit of a call as it goes into that range. Maybe put a trailing stop, something along those lines. There was a chance at a dip buy in US Steel. The thing about it is, right, like if you're trading multiple names, you're not going to be working in and out of position on all of them. Some of them are going to be more active. Some of them it's like buy and hold, and I've got my targets and I have my stop. US Steel was like buy it, had the target here, had the target out in front of here. I'm not looking to add to the position unless it actually tested 2160 at the low of the day. There, I would have been all over the ad, and I sort of mentioned that level earlier on in the session. That's when we try to give you our ideas and where we like the entries, the entire trading plan, so you have a bit of a idea of the thought process. And another one here on a similar look is going to be Lordstown, right? Get out in the first consolidation. Now it's either breaking 85 to the bottom and I get out, or it's breaking through the top and I have an order already sitting in front of 14 even if it can get there. So again, this is more of a longer duration style trade if it can fill in that gap, so it's not actively managing it per se.
Oh man, Serenity now. DraftKings right now finally pukes to the downside. We just got some out in the 50s there, but I mean, it would have been a lot nicer if I didn't get taken out some on the high side there for DraftKings. Like, give me a break. Okay, now we'll wait for 71 in case this market does puke itself back down. Oh, speaking about Serenity now, yesterday here, let me just call up I was watching Seinfeld yesterday, and look what episode it was. It was The Wiz. So right now, this is what I'm talking about. There's The Wiz, and then this is what I'm talking about here. So it's very, very similar. And then, so thank you, for anybody that saw that. It's The Wiz there, and that's where we get it from. So I did want to bring you guys that little thing there. So that was pretty cute, I thought, as we move forward now. Okay, so DraftKings, some bids down here at 71. We'll check that out. Lasers got it kicking right now, as you can see. This is, look at this long. We're still in this name, guys. Up to 29. You can see Laser was 27 on our sheet, so that's been a big trade for us today, and definitely working out nicely. Laser to the high side right now and still marching, so no reason to get out of this one. We keep on giving you guys outs, but as long as this keeps marching, 10% plus today for LAZR. Quick check back on Roblox. My kid said, Dad, average in, because we bought that one share at 75 and then it dropped down yesterday to 60. How far did it go down yesterday? It was funny. We were talking about this yesterday. Down to 67. He goes, buy more. I have one share. Just getting him started early, right? One share. So he said average in. Like, I don't even know that word. But down to 68, 69 here. I like Roblox through 70 if that can happen again. But for right now, let's go downside DraftKings. That's my biggest position for now.
Sundial retesting that 153, so I said I get out, gonna work back in. I got like 50.75 is my actual price there, guys. So working back into it off of the high of the day. I was gonna talk about Mogo in a second, but as this does approach the top, I just let you guys, it's the same basic idea here, where I don't like a stop through the high through that high price. I'd much rather get out at the best price possible, which will be that actual high of day. So I can sort of look to see when it's getting taken out. Some of those reverse model gateways will go first. Just in particular, like you'll see, you don't see BATY, like BATY reverse model. So you get paid to remove liquidity, which means it's going to go first. The algos are going to hit that key first. I'll see them go. You'll see EDGX and MEMX, where you get paid that rebate. It'll be sticking around there for additional liquidity in ARCA and NASDAQ as well. When it's all left to those, usually, it's time to run to the exit and I can get out manually instead of paying the extra penny. So back into sundial here, guys, to the short side. And again, it'll be the same sort of play. Like if it starts to come down, I'll start covering probably this time at like 49 down to 45 because it is starting to move up a little bit into that little high, and I'm not letting it go through 153. If it goes jailbreak, I like 165 as well. And I have a short bias on this particular name post earnings, so I'm going to stick to that unless it does test that bottom at 135, which I think would be a fantastic bottom to defend.
Okay, 28.80, 28.90 right now is going to be the out on laser. So we're just going to wait. We'll take the $2 and run away on this trade. Big time move up. And when you hear me saying that we're making a lot of money on some of these plays, it's because we are, right? So there goes laser to the upside. Made our whole day back on some of these plays here. You're going to see me get ticked out eventually here. These were just quick trades out mostly at the quarters there. Before dropping down, was really happy that we did take some out. Never took us out, never tested VWAP, and then now to the upside and just keeps on running. We did take that 50 cents, and now we're going to take a $2. Each one of these is a quarter, so a quarter. We do have a quarter left on the upside, so needless to say, big trade alert there on this name. And look, DraftKings, like the market just does not want to stop going up. So we did take out some profit there on this short for DraftKings, but our initial short was there taken out. So this is like 71.90 short, out 72, that's 35 cent loser. And then that's 72.18, 72.20, and then out for like that same 50 cent winner back now. So we'll wait to see if it takes out the top, but I'm confident that if the NASDAQ turns around, we should have a banger here for sure with DraftKings. You've waited for this moment. Did you or did you not? We do not know. We're going to find out soon, as it's the automotive time with our friend at Trader TV Randy.
The only guest we have with his own personalized intro at Trader TV, Randy joining us. Back on the show for the first time in a while. It's been a while.
Long while.
We're going to talk a little autos, some EVs. We'll talk about some updates, some developments in the space. There's been a lot. Going back to the beginning of this year, we want to focus a little bit on Volkswagen to start, though, first off. Because if we can show this chart, guys, this has been just an impressive, to say the least, daily chart. This is over in Germany. Volkswagen primary listing over on the Xetra exchange in Germany. But impressive looking daily chart. The start of the year is bang right there. So 150 to 250, and we're in March.
And they've added 45 billion since the start of the year. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Why is that? They're making a serious commitment to move into the EV space. Don't forget, they're an ICE company. They're like Ford and GM and the rest of them. They make traditional ICE cars, but they're making a serious commitment to get into the EV space like Tesla from top to bottom. The biggest announcement they had last week was at a shareholders meeting with a lot of industry execs and a lot of battery execs. They announced they would build as many as 6 different battery plants using QuantumScape technology. Right. And these are solid state batteries. And why this is important is they want to control the vertical from top to bottom. So from the batteries right down to the platform, right down to the brands that they own, and then the models they produce on those brands. So this is going to really be an enabler for them. Every model from Skoda to Volkswagen and Audi and Porsche, they now have the technology and the batteries, like Tesla, to get this thing rolling. And it's going to be an amazing bit of momentum for them to get into the market with a big push. They're the second biggest automaker right now, and they want to do EVs. So it's lots of capital, lots of investment in technology, and now they have the battery technology as well.
It's interesting, we had Tesla come out and say that this technology, this solid state technology will never fly, will never get off the ground. QuantumScape, in their last earnings report, said they were successful in combining 2 cells. So they had 1 cell that was able to run on its own. So now they've combined 2 cells, and they're talking about these battery packs, these solid state battery packs containing or consisting of thousands of these cells. So it's not like they're there yet, though.
They're not there yet. They want to get into production by 2024. They haven't said specifically when. Don't forget, there were a startup that started back in 2010, and they've been working on this in California since then. Huge investment from the likes of Bill Gates, from the Qatar investment company. They've proven now that they have a pack that'll handle a small car.
Right.
They're going to be able, by 2024, to get to larger packs. Don't forget, Volkswagen's ID series are smaller packs than Tesla's using now. They're 20, 30, 40 kilowatt packs, but they're solid state. And solid state is a huge, I think, advantage over the current lithium products we have now. Why? Number one, there's no cooling and heating issues. So they're made of a synthetic battery material with a synthetic ceramic divider between them. They don't have to be warmed up. They don't get hot while they're discharging. Number two, they can mold them into any shape. So they're not a cylindrical or a square cell. They can make them into any shape they want, which is able to build them better into the chassis of the car. Number three, they're not combustible. So you get into a crash.
That's a big deal.
That's a big thing.
If they can get that.
So the regulators and crash test safety institutes love this. You get into an auto accident, the vehicle is much more safe. Number three, drastically shorter charge times. And this is huge because right now we fill up our cars at a gas station in
seconds.
Yeah, exactly. So
minutes.
3, 4, 5 minutes, you fill your tank, you're on your way.
Yeah.
Right now with a 100 kilowatt pack, even with a DC 800 volt fast charger, you're still a half an hour. So the convenience factor there, it's a huge push to consumers to say, look, this is accessible. Volkswagen's going to make it affordable. And the battery technology is so convenient because you can charge literally in 5 minutes at the fastest station. This, I think, is going to push a lot of people into the market. The cars are going to be as cheap or cheaper than the Model 3. The ID3, ID4, ID5 are shipping now.
Let's have a look. We have a couple of visuals. Which one is this?
This is the ID6, actually. Okay. So this is their 7-seat SUV, launched in Europe first, out this summer.
And these are all coming to North America?
All except the 6 for now. Okay. This may be marketed in China as well, but the ID3 is in Canada already. You can pre-order one today, and the ID4 as well. There's the ID3. So these are available from dealers on order now. Now, you can go to a dealer or order them online. Will you find one on a dealer lot? No. Because they're going with the Tesla model.
Right.
There are no dealers. So over time, as the ICE vehicles start to dwindle and the EVs come into the space, you'll be able to order the vehicle online. You'll be able to test drive one, have it serviced in your driveway, wherever you park it. But they're going to follow the Tesla dealerless model to try and reduce their overall costs. Yes, they still have a huge ICE platform, lots of models from Porsche and Bugatti and all kinds of other brands that will, because of their heritage, will continue as an ICE platform for now, but they're going to go with a dealerless model. A lot less maintenance on these cars. They don't have to sit on lots. You'll be able to order them online just like a Tesla.
And it'll be interesting to see if some of these other manufacturers kind of jump on board with this. I mean, we've mentioned, plans from Ford. We've mentioned plans from, some of the North American, the big North American manufacturers to kind of join this train. But Volkswagen, the first one to really go all in with it.
First one to go all in, I think, with a step with solid state batteries, it's going to leave Ford and the others behind. However, Volkswagen's made it well apparent that they can license this platform to anybody who wants to use it. Much as Elon Musk has said, the same with the Tesla platform. If you want to license the skateboard chassis platform and you want to license the solid state battery technology by 2024, 2025, it'll be available to other auto manufacturers who don't have the R&D or don't have the capital to get into this space.
Is it going to be a case where we see, these come to North America, they come to Canada, the US, they're a huge success, and other manufacturers are kind of forced to get, on the bandwagon and start to compete, or the other way around? I
think they'll be forced to compete because there's companies like Stellantis who don't have a lot of EVs yet. They're sort of in this space. Ford's got the Mustang Mach-E out. The electric F-150 is coming, but they're built on lithium technology. Yep. Lithium batteries need to be mined. It's a precious metal. It has to come out of the ground. The vertical is not quite there. They don't own their own battery technology. They're using LG Chem and other companies to bring the batteries to market. With Volkswagen, they own the solid state. They own a good chunk of QuantumScape. With the SPAC being there, there's other shareholder interests as well. They control the entire vertical and their costs, and it's a newer technology than lithium. So they're going to charge faster. Again, all the features we mentioned, all the benefits of solid state. I think they're a little bit ahead of Ford, and the shareholders love this. $45 billion in market cap. They think this is pretty hot.
Clean energy, all the rage. Sean has not one, but 2 Volkswagen vehicles.
Yes, he does.
Sean, will you get one of these?
Brendan, yes, I will get one of those. Yeah, no, I mean, look, I think you guys are hitting the nail on the head with some of these. I mean, we have the Atlas, the big R line. It's absolutely fantastic. Probably one of the best cars that I've owned. So you guys can check that. I actually have that posted on my Instagram. But yeah, look, I think with the move to electric, you have to be very careful. Randy, I did want to ask you a quick question about some of this though. Like, isn't it true that right now the power grids across the U.S. and of course in North America, and I'm wondering about Europe as well, they're not going to be able to handle like 1 in 5 people having some sort of an electric vehicle. So what is the answer to that? Are these batteries maybe taking less on the drainage there? Is there a solution? I know people are nervous about Bitcoin right now, talking about the environmental impact that Bitcoin miners have. Are we in that same discussion now, or we're not quite there yet?
It's a valid question, Sean. I think we are in some unknown territory here. The power grids in North America, especially, less so in Europe, are going to be a little bit vulnerable to a huge move to EVs. Yes, you can charge at home. Yes, you can charge at charging stations on the street or at a hotel. But I think Elon has gone off on this mission a little bit, where you've got a power wall and solar panels on your roof. And when you charge at home, you're using renewable energy to help charge the car. Many hotels now, many car park spaces, they're covered and they have solar panels on the roof to help facilitate that, to lessen the load on the grid, Sean. Yes, there's going to be some vulnerabilities there. Tesla's using large storage facilities. There's a new one being built in Texas, for example, 100 megawatts, I think it was. So there's going to be a transition on the infrastructure side as well. Again, there's not a lot of DC 800 volt charging stations out there yet. It's going to be a few years, I think, before we're able to really fully embrace that. A lot of expenditures too on governments and on utilities. They're going to have to step up their game to be able to transition to bring these EVs to market.
Yeah, we mentioned a couple of weeks back, I think it was, we heard California was the first one to go. 2035, they want all combustible engines out of the state, or no additional sales of combustible engines. There's been a couple of countries in Europe do the same thing since then. When that happens, this demand is going to be extreme for hydro. I was reading a couple of weeks back that it was going to require between $1,500 and $4,500 investment into the power grid per EV that is on the road. And that gets to a point where, if 60% of the cars are on the road, it's a lot of money.
I think you'll see governments and utilities and the states especially, there'll be some taxation on this so they can build this infrastructure. So you pay gasoline tax now. In fact, it's a huge chunk of what the cost of fuel is in most North American districts. There will be an equivalent tax applied to EV chargers, where they can take that tax and invest it back into the grid, invest it back into storage, invest it back into renewables. So this transition from ICE to electrics is a little less vulnerable to them. Again, we can't have rolling blackouts just because you want to plug your car in somewhere. So it's going to take a lot of infrastructure. Good question, Sean. The governments and the utilities, and they've got to form a plan to deal with this transition. Again, it's all for the environment. It's a great idea, but there's still a long ways to go.
Patrick Gardner wants to know what company you're representing, but this is at Trader TV Randy. You only see him ringing the bell usually. He's here. He's with us. So a little bit of a look, guys, at the automotive sector. Some developments for Volkswagen. We talked about QuantumScape there as well. It's going to be exciting to see, what happens with this over the coming months and even weeks. I think it's coming really, really quick. There we go. A little bit of a look at EV world for now, guys. Back over to you.
There you go, guys. He's not just a handsome gentleman that rings the bell and sometimes works the board, but he knows. I can say a shit ton about the automotive industry there. And look, this is what we try to do to you guys. It is literally all about education when it comes to both trading. Of course, that's a little bit about it. Like, what's our thought process in trading? What should you be looking at? Learn about a sector so you can help your investing game as well. And speaking of that, and this is not necessarily that I want to put anyone on the spot, because we do have our members Q&A coming up on Monday. And I'm just throwing this out there because obviously we have Mark Roberts coming through joining. We have Arun on there sometimes. Maybe we're going to get some questions and we can have Randy stop by if you have some particular questions about Tesla or the EV space. I'm sure he'd be willing to jump in, even if it's just in the chat. So it's available to all of our members, guys. If you're not a member, do join so you can take part in that. It's right after the show on Monday. We have a good time doing it. Ask us just about anything. This time you got the stock father himself joining as well, Mr. Mark Roberts. He does a fantastic job. We all love him, guys. I want to update. Of course, I'm still in that sundial trade. You know, I've been in this one and worked back in off the high of the day. Now, why do I get out at 150? Because I can work back in at a better price. I got 52 as an average price. I did take some shares at 49.5. I've already covered those when it hit 49, when it hit 48. I just have my 52s left. It is that pre-market high of the day that I'm working off of. Could I average in from basically 48 all the way to 53? You could. I'm not going to play sundial that way. I'd rather get in an average price 52, get right out at 53. That way, when you're taking 3 or 4 cents down here like 4 or 5, and then hopefully if it goes all the way down to 40s again, you can get more like an 8 to 10 cent winner. It makes sense from risk to reward, but if it's a tight range doing volume, I want to be profitable all the way through the range. That's the name of the game for me. A little bit of a different style when it comes to the US steel trade, which I can show you. Was a power up for me here. Usually sleep on this name, outside of buying and holding overall. But when I saw the market turning, there were some places to go to. I did like that dip at 22. I should have had it in the consolidation there for you guys, but I had to chase it up a little bit, and then didn't want to be grabbing the pullback trade after resisted first level. So we got some out for a 30-cent scalp. Like 25-cent scalp actually, and then the rest out for like 70 pennies like we said we would, right in front of that opening range top, guys. So it opened at 60s, but you do have like the pre-market highs here down around like 23.20. Wanted to make sure if it resisted, the market wasn't screaming through the high of the day. We're still, 0.5% to the upside on the NASDAQ, and the ES is slightly negative. That's why I don't have enough exuberance to basically hold this through the high of the day or hold it forever. If I'm going to do something like that, it's going to be over in Nordstrom's, guys. So I did get some of this out at that pre-market high. It finally started to go for me. But because this is more of a, and again, I can show you the 4-day move off the top here, Nordstrom's holding that 42 area. That's the idea. Like, I actually do think if the market screams, I want this one at like 44 into this chop end zone. So it's a bit of a different style trade, holding in front of that low of the day. If it breaks the low, I'm out. But the last that I do want to see, if the market's going to rebound, I like Nordstrom's after it's fallen 4 days in a row, right into that breakout price. I like that setup.
Yeah, you know what, actually, let's look at, okay, so first of all, we did take out some DraftKings. I thought DraftKings was going to break the 7150, does not. Look at the NASDAQ, just keeps going up. And for the best trade of the day, not held, was this one right here. Look at this Qs, man. We basically picked the bottom of the NASDAQ here. And I had no idea. Now I do, which is great. I mean, like, you're learning things every day, even myself. Like, I had no idea that NASDAQ would get like this crazy with the triple Qs. So now I do. And good outs, good out here before it faded back in. I'm happy with all of these outs. I mean, it's just we should have reloaded or we should have held on. But when I got out, I was really happy. These were the tops. Bang, bang. It breaks through VWAP there, get out. But there it is. Like this, we called the bottom. I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes it's just about making the calls, right? Like I called the bottom, put on risk, and it's my number one stock today. So, I mean, if you're joining to follow people that are going to make calls, then, I mean, today it's been super hot fire. I mean, we have Nike short. Everybody absolutely loving this list on Twitter there. Laser, like, look at the laser long, 27 there, right? AMC 1350 drop. You smack that, you get 30 cents. NEO 4150 to the downside. That worked before the NASDAQ got going. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of names on there that should work, including the Palantir high of 2450 as well. So there goes the Qs to the upside. We're still holding a little bit of DraftKings here. I don't really have I don't even have a target to get out. If it does break through this 50, we'll get out of the last piece, but we're holding very, very small. We just noticed too many times here that it was 7150, 7150, so we held a little bit, hoping that it could come to the back to the downside here. Some size right there at 41. I think we're going to short DraftKings again just to see if it does take out that 7250, sorry, on the high side. Let's put another short on DraftKings and only hold it 11 cents against us. If the NASDAQ does turn, this could be a much bigger win than we think.
Yeah, and speaking of, if the NASDAQ does turn to the downside, I mean, obviously you're going to want to hold on to some shorts, but I'm looking to the upside. on Upstart. Look, this stock gave a big time pullback. I mean, it's obviously been such a strong runner, just to show you guys in the daily chart there. And obviously you get this like pull, you go to those previous highs, you get that pullback, and what does it go to? 106. Is that like any coincidence? Our low today is 106. Watch those higher time frames on pullbacks on stocks that you like right into the open. It gave you one shot and one shot only in front of 106. Right now, 120 looks like a potential break spot. Of course, I want to see it hold around VWAP if that's going to be the case. I want to see the market hold up as well. Obviously, at this point, because it's so overextended, you do get the same sort of look that if we do not break through 120 at lunchtime, there's likely to be an actionable trade here down through a 115 on the way back in. Of course, you know, the stock that I'm basically the last couple of sessions going to always be looking at post earnings was that Sundial. Unless it breaks this 145, to that downside, I'm probably always going to have at least like 40 to 50% of the short that I have in. And I'm likely to be just reloading at 52s every single time. But because it's tested 53, I'm no longer taking 50s, 49s, 50s, 51s short. I literally only want it 1 penny in front because you test it over and over again, and I'm not losing 3 or 4 cents on the back end of that trade. You don't want to turn a winner into a loser. I'm only risking the 1 penny and the 1 penny alone. So it's 52s and 52s only. If we do hold that 45, the other end of that spectrum becomes, yeah, it can be a long break at that 153, and then I'd scalp that one out, you know, about to like 158 to 160 or so. So I would be willing to reverse, but not if we test the bottom. If we test the lows of the day, I'll stay bearish.
All right, just looking here, there's that short that we talked about, a 72.30 in and 72.38, sorry, on that. You saw me take it. So we do like that trade coming to the downside, especially if the NASDAQ does crack. So we did take some out there at 72.07, just waited ahead of 72. I'm going to take 30 cents on DraftKings. It hasn't been a great day trade for me in the past. Today it's been fantastic on that long. The short didn't really hold. So here we go, short again, like a short out. Now it looks like it'll take out 72.50 again to the upside. So it looks like we'll probably step on ourselves there one more time before getting out, hopefully, on the low side. But 72.50 a watch for me now on DraftKings, but we're into that trade. We'll put some more bids downside if it can break through down to 72 once again. If the market does crash here, I do think that there's a nice potential for a decent win here on DraftKings, but it has to go first, and that is the market. So let's put another bid, 72. We'll just keep taking 30, 25, 30 cents, and then we'll hold some for the ultimate drop, which may or may not come here on a quad witching Friday, guys.
Yeah, sort of speaking of drops and quad wishing and all that, watch out Tesla here, guys. If this breaks down below like 640 on VWAP, we like it as a bit of an indicator. I was just looking at Virgin Galactic here. Gonna go to Brennan in just a second. But Virgin Galactic off the highs, just made a top at like 32.75, consolidating. If Tesla gets a breakdown, I'm gonna love this short on Virgin Galactic. These are day trades here that we're talking about. Obviously, this is not me saying. Space stinks. I'm actually long it myself, but I'll take this one if I can get any price on this consolidation. If Tesla is breaking through that 640 for sure, you can see that be a leading indicator. Brendan?
There was a IPO today. Quad witching Friday, not a common occurrence, but this TIL, Instill Bio, which is a little biotech, just opened up here. It's about 400 million, so actually not terribly small, but opened at 27 there, so getting crushed. But volume decent for TIL, guys, an IPO today.
I laugh because I'm so excited about Coinbase IPO coming, but the IPO game hasn't been strong lately. We saw Coupang, we saw Roblox, which is now near its IPO price, not doing great. And then there was another one yesterday. I can't remember. I traded it. I don't remember this. Tua. Oh, yeah, let's check out Tua.
Not the quarterback.
TUYA. Let's just check out Tua today and see what that's doing here. 2.25 million shares. Okay, $25, not doing a hell of a lot here on Tua today. Has a big move upside, and now it's just cruising. But yeah, the IPO game not strong right now, but we will wait out for obviously Coinbase coming next. I have DraftKings on my mind. We're sitting here bidding. We're bidding there to get some out at 07. Did we just get filled there? Let's go over. Yes, we did. Okay, so take out that 07s now. Now we can hopefully come back to the downside here with some, big trade. If the NASDAQ falls, which looking like it wants to do. We will hopefully get some DraftKings out now in the mid set, like right around here. I'm comfortable with that 71, 75-ish. Put a bid there and see if we get touched on DraftKings low right now, guys.
Yes, sir. And look, it's all about finding the next direction. I'm still, of course, sitting in JFIN. I'm going to look at that rollover in a quick second. So I could get Virgin Galactic any second now. But JFIN, look, it needs to still break that 760. Been zero reason to get out of this trade, zero reason to have any fear with it. So going to stick to the plan here and hang on to this particular one. But we are getting that rollover as we speak. So I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm just going to try and I can't flip to it because I want to make sure I get the actual trade. Just got Virgin Galactic through 38. I actually want to add to this one before it gets to the quarters. But there goes the JFIN as well. I want this breaking the low, and I'm holding through the low of the day. Because if I can, remember, I thought this floodgate could open up and then we'd get down to this price first, this 730 to 740 area. I'll take the next leg out there, and if that breaks, hopefully we can get to like 650 for a bigger win as well. Sundial also working in the money for me to the short side, but that's not going to move too fast. I can be very, very calm about that one. So there's Virgin Galactic. It came to the downside. Apologies, I couldn't show that one to you live because it was on my level 2 to execute, and I did have another screen there. And I didn't want to miss this little breakdown when it took out like 32.35. I average into it at 32.30. Now I can hold this one. I think it can go down to this price, down to VWAP before I take any out, especially if the futures take out that low. Tesla did break VWAP in that 640. That was the other thing I was watching. That was my entry point into this trade. If we hold some consolidation, maybe I work into more of it. My bias is to the south side today overall, with the exception, of course, Nordstrom's, which I thought could be a nice little bounce back trade and has been to this point at least.
All right, yeah, things going well for us on this side. We just did take some more. DraftKings did not, so you could see a bunch of different outs right here. It did not crack that 72, right? So we weren't able to get anything in the 80s like I thought we may be able to at some point. But DraftKings, we take out 02s one more time, so we'll wait to see if that wants to do anything now. And that's DraftKings breaking back down to 72. The market is strong still. Like it's holding. Like it held that. We're still battling around negative here. Positive to negative back and forth. So could be an interesting close of the day here, or it could not be because we're just flat now. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the next shoe to drop is. We've been talking all about, obviously, as we go, talking about the quad witching that's happening today. There's going to be some big executions near the end of the day today. So just watch out for quad witching coming near the end of the day. So my DraftKings is still down here, 71.80. Valeria, you can't drink that. We need to have 200,000 subs, Valeria. So if we can get to her, we can show she's chilling out right now with the bottle, guys. No, not ready yet? Yeah, there we go.
Hey guys, we're just 7,000 of subscribers away from popping up champagne live. So please, if you haven't subscribed yet, do it right now and let's celebrate all together. We are hitting 200,000 of subscribers less than in a year. Thank you very much, everyone. Well, have a great weekend. Enjoy, rest well. We'll see you on Monday. And happy National Chocolate Caramel Day, everyone.
Yes, yes, yes. It's all, look, I mean, a million times yes, but I'd have that with champagne, certainly. Why not? It's a good way to celebrate, of course, but it can also be good to quell those sorrows. And the only sorrow for me today, outside of, and let's not forget, I do have a loser on that CLVS, and I see it at that high of day. I'm not jumping back into that one, guys. No, not at this time of day. Not when I already had a bad read on it once. But yeah, drink the sorrows away for me because MSU lost. March Madness. I haven't even mentioned March Madness one time, guys. But for me, I think Baylor is going to take it. I'm not sure everyone else's opinion on that one there. But I'm kind of curious. And Sean, you mentioned your brackets. Who do you have winning the whole thing?
I will have Baylor versus Gonzaga. So Gonzaga is it's obvious.
I am the same thing, yeah, okay.
Yeah, this year is just whatever. It's a bunch of fluff, so we'll wait to see what happens. But Baylor versus Gonzaga, we'll talk about that next week. And yeah, sorry about Michigan State, but they'll be back next year. I don't know what to think about.
I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure if they will be.
I don't know what to think about this year, as there's some teams, as you guys know if you're following it, that aren't even in the tourney, right? So, okay. Yeah, no, it's been a big day. Chocolate caramel, we love those. Brendan loves chocolate caramel as well, I assume, Brenda. Hey, what's that view?
That was cool.
All right, DraftKings testing that 72 area. We're going to hold this and see what happens with the market now coming back up. So maybe we'll just exit everything. Look, it's been a big day, guys. Just watch out for the close. If you haven't seen quad witching before, it's just really the last minute or so. You could get craziness. And then the New York imbalances come out at 350, and then the NASDAQ shortly after to follow. So just watch out some of those imbalances today. It should be a fun one.
Yeah, big volume, but not necessarily always gigantic volatility. That's what it's all about. But you know what we got to do? Do not forget about that Q&A coming up on Monday. Sign up if you haven't. For the entire team right down the line, Miss V cradling that bottle of champagne. Don't make it too warm. When we get to it, we want it to be cold. Put it on ice.
He's loving that bottle.
And Sean Katina, sporting the merch, of course. He's got the sweater on. He must be hot in that sweater because I'm hot here in the
No,
shirt.
actually, I feel fine down here.
Really?
I don't know why. Yeah,
I think it's kind of warm in here. But anyways, enough of that. Brendan Wickens looking fine in the vest and doing a fantastic job as always. Ranster with our little segment there. I thought it was great. We'll have to bring him back at some point for a Q&A. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Yeah.